Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday. And can you believe that August is almost over? Because it is August 29th, 2023. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, powered by NCXT. I am your host, Jan Ochoa. Joining me, co-captain of the ship, Jeff Grubb.
Toot toots, I'm pulling on the ship horn. That's what you do on this ship, is pull the horn.
That's right. Frantically pulling up the anchor, we have Mike Minotti.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we're going around the horn, you could even say. Huh?
And that energy, Mike Minotti, here we go. Tuesday, let's do it.
And we decided to give him the wheel of the boat, Dan Reichert.
Boats with like the big nautical wheel, right?
The big nautical wheel, yeah.
Yeah,
course.
with like the wooden spokes and stuff that you can spin.
Sure.
That seems fun. I would do. I did that. I did that on a boat, and it was fun.
I feel like you can get a lot of good spins in it before it actually like does any damage.
I think when you do it for shoot, though, it's very tiny little motions. Like when I did it on a boat in Boston a couple months ago, it's like you just do a little bit of this, and then the whole boat. It's not a lot of like.
I think the size of the boat would matter there, right? You're probably on a tinier boat.
Yeah, it was a tiny boat. Like I would like to do like a full-on Wheel of Fortune or Price is Right wheel. You know, like that'd be fun, but you can't do that.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. to Bob Barker. We've lost too many folks in the last couple days here.
Last
week. Holy smokes. Here's a Google document for folks watching live. Gentlemen, a lot of wrestling happened. We were talking about this in the pre-show here, and we were thinking about maybe perhaps getting together and putting together a Power Bombcast to talk about All Out. But then, Dan, you enlightened me. There's 2 more wrestling things happening this weekend.
2 pay-per-views. I'm sorry, 1 premium live event and 1 pay-per-view. Yes, Payback is Saturday. All Out is Sunday.
Man, Payback's in Pittsburgh, I think. I could have gone to that if it wasn't for, the traveling.
Oh, yeah. How far is Pittsburgh from you?
Closer than Cleveland, actually. It's like 50 minutes.
Oh wow. Jeez.
I have no idea what geography is the further east I get from past Nevada. Even then, Nevada, like in my head, I feel like Reno and Las Vegas are really close together when that is not the reality at all.
Yeah, I always feel like Las Vegas is like a half an hour from anywhere in California, and that's just incorrect.
Yeah, my cousin was telling me, like, yeah, I drove from LA to Las Vegas, and I'm like, oh, how was that? 6 hours? Like, no, it was 2. And then just threw out everything. I don't know.
Huh,
and then I was wondering why it took so long to get from Los Angeles to San Diego when we went for DreamHack. I was very confused.
Yeah,
that was the traffic jam situation, right?
Yeah, we got traffic jammed.
Was that traffic jam? Is that just normal California traffic?
That one was a little bit worse than normal.
Wow.
Yes. So we had time for punch out. We did a punch out run, and then everyone stopped and looked. They were looking in the car, and that's causing the traffic, I think.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
They were too impressed with your skills.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh my God, is that Grubb?
Yeah,
Holy,
that's right.
Honey, pull over.
That Glass Joe. That's right.
You guys
Very
see
impressive.
the new summoning Salt video? He's got the Punch Out World Record. He does all the speedrun videos. But like the new one is about Ninja Gaiden 2, and the guy it's following is named Jimmy Poopins.
Yes,
nice. It's like
Shoot
the whole
name?
so he's
Gimmick
doing
name?
his what's that?
Shoot name or gimmick name?
Yeah, that's his birth name, Dan. Yeah, that's the name his mama gave him.
That's his Christian name,
Yeah, Jimmy
His
Poopins.
government name is Poopins?
Oh,
Jimmy
yeah.
Poopins.
Absolutely.
Jimmy Poopins.
Speedrunning is great because of that. A lot of the gaming scenes are great because it's like, I spent my entire life trying to overcome Jimmy Poopins. And it's okay.
Ninja Gaiden 2.
Right.
I assume the NES Ninja Gaiden 2, right? Summoning Salt tends to do
Yes.
NES stuff, yeah.
He's done some newer-ish things. I forget if he did a Wind Waker 1. He does some of the newer Mario Karts. He does a lot. He does too many Mario Karts. I'm just gonna say it. Actually, Too much Mario Kart for my taste.
Pretty
Kart
judgy of the Mario Kart
How do
community.
you speed run Mario Kart?
Oh well, there's a lot of weird
200cc.
tricks where you kind of like. No, well, it's not even that. Sometimes it is, but like Mario Kart 64,
2 podcasts.
you can accidentally break the line, so you can do weird stuff and go out of bounds and go back to the finishing line and cross it. Things like that.
Cheating.
Fantastic.
Yeah, sure did.
Do you think it's too late to get work glass for the PAX panel?
We've done it
Cry me a
before.
river.
I've bled from sugar glass before. John Drake hit me with a bottle once, and I had a bloody head. So still gotta hit someone right with that stuff.
We were doing backyard movies when I was like a young teenager. We tried to make the work glass, but we didn't really know what we were doing. So we just melted a bunch of pure sugar and didn't add any water to it. So it was just like this really thick, like gray brown stuff. And we still tried to use it. It was and it didn't look like glass at all, but we still smashed our friend's head through it and hurt him very badly.
Jesus.
But he was game for it.
You can't do all that work and not use it. I mean,
Right,
that's just,
exactly.
That's,
That's a lot of sugar, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any footage of you doing backyard wrestling stuff, Minotti?
No. We made a lot of backyard movies that were all pretty dumb and also made by 13-year-olds. So I'd be terrified to show them to anybody,
that's cinema, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's pure cinema.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got a few backyard wrestling videos. I think I've tweeted clips of them in the past, but I looked really cool and impressive in all of them.
Sure. No, I was a coward. I would have been afraid of hurting myself.
Bacalar did some backyard wrestling, and I would really like to find some videos of that.
Yeah,
Bacalar is so the kid who got into wrestling for 2 years in the late 90s when it was popular and then never thought of it again after that.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay.
He's that guy.
We
Pictures with NWO shirts when he's 16. Yeah.
We got to show Dib what a mini DV tape or like what a VHS would look like.
Yeah.
It's like, Dib, look around your dad's stuff and then send it to us.
Dan, this is your fault that we have not brought Dib into the fold. And,
weaponized Dib?
Weaponized him against Jib.
I thought you meant to like make content. I mean, I know that Dan is all about child labor, but I was about to say, I don't know.
No, well, yeah, of course to make content. Oh yes, I love working.
His father's brainwashed him against me. I think it would be hard. It would need to be a group effort to turn him against his father.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think we can do it.
Gohan, I think initially was scared and hated Piccolo. You could be the Piccolo to Dib.
You love Piccolo energy.
I can't believe Gohan was afraid of the monster man who kidnapped him.
And then, has attempted murder on his father multiple times.
Right.
It's
Imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, just like real life. Life imitates art here on the Giant Bombcast. Of
course.
You guys ready to talk about video games?
Okay.
Miscellaneous other things you want to talk about before we get into it? No?
Well, it's going to be a big time pay-per-view with Payback when the thing I've seen advertised the most is the Grayson Waller Effect segment starring Cody Rhodes.
That's weird. That is just like one of their little weird talk show segments, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when you can tell it's a like in between premium live event.
Man,
all right, we're setting up stuff for the ones that matter.
Yeah. That's
what is on the card other than that?
I think Rhea versus Raquel. God, I don't think Roman's wrestling.
No.
Yeah,
Seth
Rhea
and Nakamura. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I like what they've done with Nakamura recently.
Yes.
Okay.
Very cool. Yeah.
Okay, we got Ray versus Theory. Oh, Miz versus LA Knight. That could be fun.
That's been fun. That's been a good feud.
And then we also have
Trish and Becky in the cage. That should main event.
Oh, that should main event. That should have been at SummerSlam, but we'll.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I guess we should get together and talk about wrestling maybe next week after all of this stuff happens. And
we go back in town. Let's do it. Yeah.
And then maybe we'll have updates on what has happened with the Jack Perry CM Punk situation. Oh man, I like that. We'll talk about it later. Because we're going to talk about
a prediction here.
Okay.
With hearing things about Punk saying I hate this place and it's just getting worse and worse and worse there, I'm going to predict now. In less than 3 years, you will see Punk in a WWE ring.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
As soon as I saw that quote floating around the dirt sheets, I was like, he's going to go back to WWE, and it's going to be
WWE doesn't want him though.
But it'll be the Cody
nobody
Rhodes
does.
effect.
But there's money. If there's money, they will take them.
Yeah.
It'll be the Cody Rhodes effect, where, Cody wasn't necessarily working well in AEW, but as soon as he jumped ship back to WWE. Gangbusters. It's like put everything on
problems. The same problems as always would be worse now, apparently. But if there was money in it, they would absolutely take him back.
Yep.
He would like end Roman's streak. He would end Roman and Gunther's streak in the same night.
Oh man!
You realize in 3 years he'll be like almost 50. I guess these days it doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
For wrestling,
what is AJ Styles like? 46, 47?
All the old guys really showed up at All In, anyways.
Yeah.
I know I keep saying we're going to talk about wrestling next week instead, but I hate yet again Another great pay-per-view, just kind of sullied by CM Punk.
I think this time I'm not letting that stuff get to me too much. I'm just like, whatever. CM Punk's being CM Punk. My big takeaway is that it was a really good pay-per-view for the most
Top
part.
to
I'm almost
bottom.
just laughing. It's not
Yes,
like when the brawl out happened, I thought that was sad. Now I'm kind of bemused.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to show my appreciation to Juice Robinson.
Oh my God.
Juice?
Yes.
What a fucking weirdo.
He found his thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
That guy.
Here-
Just screaming about being rock hard, just being way too hyped up all the time.
That was
going to
be my thing.
It's been your thing. He stole it
It's
from
been
you.
my thing.
Here
yeah.
he is, Wembley Stadium, possibly one of the biggest wrestling crowds ever, and his entrance is him barking on all fours like a rabid dog. That's the energy I want to approach everything with. So let's talk about video games. Minotti, do you think you could do like a good like guns water spit thing? Like
I'm great at
guns?
the water spit. Do you want me to get some water?
Not
Yeah,
right
yes,
now.
yes,
Ooh.
yes.
Do you think they'd
Yes.
mind if we did that at PAX? He's gonna ruin his own home.
If you're on
I need
stage,
him to
everything
change
goes.
the
It's the
camera
First
angle.
Amendment. You could spit whatever you want on the stage, and they can't stop you.
This
We
guy
need to
is
figure out, is he
spitting.
going to do the Triple H water spit? Because if it's a vertical one, I need the camera angle to be up a little more.
I don't
he
know
should
if
spit all
he's-
over his fucking yellow label GameCube games.
I don't know if he's in a position to like change his angle or whatever. He may have to just back up a bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang on.
Oh,
Then-
he's getting the
What
headphone.
water spit are you doing? Are you doing a Triple H?
I can
Or
do
like a
let's
guns.
start. Do the guns.
You can do a guns one? Okay, here we go.
Okay, all right.
I can do whatever you want, baby.
Audio
Man, he's very
listeners,
good. It's like
Michael
one of the
Minotti
best
is now
spitters I
ingesting
know.
water. Okay, he's gearing up. Oh, that was good.
That was real good.
That was good. Oh, there was another one.
Oh, he kept a little, what a pro. He kept a little for the last one.
Wow.
Oh,
I thought he
Okay.
was
Man,
dry,
all right.
but he wasn't. He still had wet in there.
This man is wet.
There's water everywhere.
Yeah, go
Weird.
figure. All right. Well, that reminds me of the first game we'll talk about. Curse Crackers, for whom the bell toils. Nothing
That's
but
being so sweet. I'm sorry. Everyone's so impressed with me. Thank you. A little.
nothing but
right.
water
Rob, are you
spitting
like
in this
me?
game.
Every time you see curse crackers, like I get what they're saying with it, like, oh, you're cracking the curse, but like I just
Yes.
keep thinking of like Cheez-Its, like crackers, you know?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I keep forgetting the name. That's what happens to
Yeah.
me the most. Is like curse cookies is what keeps coming to my brain for some
Oh.
reason.
Do we even?
Yeah.
I played that game for like 3 or 4 hours now. I have no idea why it's called that.
Well, because
I don't either.
You know what? I don't either. I was gonna say, is that little ghost that's following her the curse? I don't know.
He seems.
It
helpful.
reminds me, looking at it, the color palette and the size of the sprites and everything. By the way, this is on Switch. I don't know if it's on other stuff, but it's very much like NES-inspired platformer. It
It's
reminds
Game
me
Boy
of Little
Color
Nemo, the
specifically,
Dream
I
Master.
think. Little
You know
Nemo?
Little Nemo?
Yeah,
Little
Nemo,
Nemo
yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
something about the look of
Shantae.
it reminds me of that.
Little
Yeah,
Nemo.
Shantae is what I'm getting recently since I've been playing it. Yeah.
I can see that too, yeah. But I love Little Nemo. That game's awesome.
Yes.
But the locomotion in that game, the moveset, namely that like sprint, duck, long jump
Yeah,
situation.
the long
like,
jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
that
like
feels
when you
really
jump
good.
off an enemy's head, there is like just a brief moment of like where you can kind of reorient
Springiness.
yourself, so you never feel out of control. A lot of like fast-paced 2D platformers, you kind of feel like you're all over the place. This one, I feel like it gives you just that like half second to kind of orient yourself every time you're bouncing off something, and it feels great.
Yep. And
Yeah.
you can link all these motions together. So you're doing the long jump into a jump on an enemy's head, and then you can do a tall jump where like you crouch and then jump up without pressing left or right, and you do a higher jump. So it's like a lot of N60 or Mario 64's moveset is actually in this 2D platformer that looks like a Game Boy Color game. But it's super fast and it's very easy to combo all these things together. It's not like there's a combo meter or something, but it is like you are stringing them together in such a way that you feel like you could just shoot to the end of the level super fast. And I really, really dig it. And the levels do get a little bit more complicated as you get in there. And
Yeah, that's
there's
kind of
stuff
my
going on.
That's
Yeah.
been my biggest issue. I've been enjoying the movement a lot and just kind of the feel of the game. I think the level design is a little.
It's just
wanting.
rote. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty simple, and I'm not a. In general, I'm not a giant fan sometimes of the 2D games where like there's the 3 things, so you got to really slow down now because you want to get all these hidden things, especially in a game where the movement feels so good. I'd rather just be running through it, and like I know I could, but it really hurts my gamer brain to like walk by the obvious door with like the room with the thing that I have to get, or not check, since I know some walls are fake walls. Well, now I'm gonna check all the walls, and or at least the ones that look suspicious. That's gonna slow me down. I did find like a secret exit in World 3, I think, that took me to a new world that was much harder, and that's actually been way more enjoyable because it's like, okay, now they're really amping up the level design. It's a little bit more challenging. That actually kind of is making me use a lot of this move set finally.
Yeah, it's this game's been out on Steam for a while, so we're talking about it now because it's just coming out to Switch. Again, it's Curse Crackers, For Whom the Bell Toils, and that's Belle. That's the name of the main character. And basically, the setup is some witch comes and steals your boyfriend, so you got to go get him back.
I hate it when that happens.
And so and then you play the game, and I think if people like can get a glance at even like a couple of seconds of this game in action, they'll immediately get why we're excited about it. But Mike, hearing that there are more difficult levels is exactly what I needed. I think I compared the levels to like Tiny Toon Adventures, and I still think that's pretty fair. Those are like kind of simple-ish levels with like not a lot going on, but they're still fun somehow because the characters kind of move in a fun way. This, I think, but if it also has more difficult stuff in there, then I'm like, okay, that'll keep me going. I'm about halfway through the second world right now. I'm playing this alongside 5 other things. I'm going to keep at it, though, and it's a really good Switch game.
Another
ideal for
Go
Switch.
ahead, Dan. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I'm agreeing with Grub on, like, as far as a Switch game, like, pick it up, play a level or two, it's ideal for that.
Nice.
Yep. Another indie game with a massive lore dump in the beginning, and this one especially, I'm like, what is all this, like, lore? Yeah, it hasn't come up yet for any reason, but I think sometimes I think the indie developers can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know, like they say, like back in the 80s, or like the cheapest special effect is nudity. I think for video game developers, like the cheapest thing they can add is story. Like if we can add story and characters, that's going to get us closer to people like finding us memorable, and so they can't help it.
They should just also add nudity.
I was gonna say, let's do both.
If you see my Steam account, you know that they definitely do that.
Let's have nude stories.
Game I talked about.
You know,
nude stories.
You know what? The most comprehensible lore I know now is Armored Core. Holy
Dan, we're
crap.
not getting there yet.
I can't. I've been thinking about it nonstop.
Wow.
Dan, there's a whole order of the show.
Dan's trying to do the transitions. Dan's trying to take your job, Jan.
Dan, there's a whole run of show. I crossed it out.
I'm gonna lay out. Okay,
all right.
Run a show. Where do I see that? Oh, there it
Get
is.
back in the penalty box.
Wait, that's the public one.
I
should look up the run of show.
I had to add a game, Jan. I had to add a game. Don't forget it.
It's in Jan put it in crew text in the channel above this, Dan.
Oh, okay.
If you want to find it there.
I was gonna ask a fun question of how do you guys feel about these 2D platformers, like kind of getting their shine back with like Pizza Tower taking the Wario heat, and now this. But fuck it, doesn't matter anymore.
I'm laying out. I'm pulling up a document. You guys,
God, you're making me so upset that I just wanna take a chainsaw and rev it up.
He's gonna choke you out backstage, Dan. Look out!
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
The 4 of us played that.
I should let the pro do it. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, that game was pretty okay. I had fun playing with that with you guys.
I
enjoy that.
Played so much more of this over the weekend.
Really? This is your game? Wait, aren't you supposed to be beating Tears of the Kingdom?
I know.
Oh, honey.
You're not
honey.
beating that. I never.
No.
Jan, I mean this in the nicest way possible. I love you, but I never believed in you.
That's everyone I've ever loved has told me the same thing.
I'm sorry. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Hey, okay, I got all the tiers. I got 3 temples done. I can't have that much more left, right?
You were at 4 temples. Oh, man, never
Oh,
mind.
there's quite a bit, Jan.
Oh, you're fucked.
How many hours do you think you have
All right,
left?
I'm going to go. All right, hang on. I'm going to go make sure it's charged. I'm going to go charge up the clippers. I'll be right back.
How many hours do you think you have, Jan?
I don't know, like 80? Oh, no, I think I have like
Left?
80 because... Oh, left? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
Temple's done. Oh, you're so done. You're done.
It's over.
I don't
It's
know.
over.
I guess I have
It's
80
over.
left, apparently.
I mean, depends on how much you want to
If
do.
you beelined it, maybe 10 hours.
See,
But
that's
I don't
all.
know.
I'm not trying. I'll go back and do all the other stuff, right? I'm just trying to get my way to the finish. Oh, okay. Here's the Tears of the Kingdom update, and I was talking about this with Grub yesterday. Would it be frowned upon if I start to exploit the game? Like, if I suddenly am like, all right, I'm just gonna need hella shit, so I'm just gonna duplicate everything.
Dupe? No, you can't dupe.
Is there a glitch for that?
I thought they fixed the dupe glitch.
There's always like a new dupe glitch that I see popping up on my TikTok feed.
Sounds like they fixed it.
No, okay.
There's definitely a new one. There's always new ones, Jan. Don't listen to these schmucks. You can do whatever you need to do to finish this game. You could duplicate. You played what? How many hours? I have my headphones off. How long have you played?
80.
You could, fuck, 80, but Mike beat it at 70, right? Like, yeah.
I beat it at 75, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go duplicate, do what you gotta do.
A pro gamer.
Cheat. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say, yes, is Mike's a pro gamer.
I beat Pikmin 4 in 10 hours less than Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had more Pikmin die.
Well, because I am a cold-hearted general.
I love my
results.
I love the Pikmin.
No, I don't. They're nothing to me. They're
10 hours worth of love, kindness, and your soul.
I might need a chainsaw to cut my hair because I spent way too much time playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre after we played it on UPF.
Were you playing with the homies, or what? You just go and matchmaking online?
I was just being a freak and playing by myself.
What is wrong with you?
Right?
I had no idea.
Right?
Do you matchmake as a? Do you get to like choose if you want to be victim or?
You
killer?
can choose. Yeah. You can choose whether or not you want to be the family or the victims. I forget what they're actually called.
Victims.
Were you like voice chatting with randos?
No, I turned that off.
Okay.
I made sure to turn all of that off and everything.
Okay.
Because my social anxiety would start to kick in. But during UPF last week, when we were playing through Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for folks unaware, it is very, very similar, if not the same type of game as Dead by Daylight. So one of those where there's like monster characters and then the civilian characters kind of got to roam around and go do stuff. Someone said this last week, in that basically you were just, this is the escape part of a Hitman level, right?
Yeah.
I said that.
You said that. Okay, Mike, yeah. As soon as you said that.
Good thoughts.
The best thoughts. Incredible thoughts.
Pro
incredible
gamer,
minds.
pro thoughter.
Yeah.
That's right. Mike
pro
Manati's a pro
spitter?
thought.
Yes.
Pro water spitter. But as soon as you said that, Mike, it kind of got the gears ticking in my head of like, this is just like the escape part of Hitman. And then like, I think I started enjoying it too much and thinking of it like that. And then, you know how all of the four of us, when we were playing as the victims, we were a little bit too scared about making noise, right?
Yeah.
I now purposely make too much noise to fuck up everything. Like, and when you're going for a lockpick, I think all of us were just kind of getting the one and finishing up, right? We'd get the one and then run away. Turns out you can just keep getting lockpicks as you need them from the same
the same place.
Yeah, from the same place.
You can run around with two. Okay, that's good to know.
And then it is very, very important to level up your different survivor.
Your grandpa. Level up your grandpa.
Yes, level up your grandpa. But you can also kill grandpa and hurt the family as the victims. And I guess
we kill him in the chair? Can you just go up and like kick him in the nuts?
You can incapacitate him.
Okay.
So with
I feel like you should be able to kill him. He seems very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been through some stuff. He's served his time. He's reformed, right? Yeah. But like with the bone fragments that you could use to cut off like the door hanging sound jazz, you can use that to hide and slightly incapacitate one of the family members.
You can. I thought that made sense, but it never popped up when they walked by me.
Right. I think you have to be behind them, and like they have to be like in the middle of an action. But you can also take those fragments and incapacitate Grandpa, so he can't wake up and show the family your location. It is very.
Doc, I need to add incapacitate Grandpa real quick. Just give me a second.
I've leveled up my Connie to a point where I can open up a door from like the lockpicking mini game in like 2 seconds, and it's great. I'm so quiet, but the thing is, I will purposely go to a toolbox and just like jam on it, so I lure the family down to where I'm at, and then I hate that I've learned these maps now.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna lure the family down here, and then I'm gonna run up to the house, and then I'm gonna get the fuse box from Grandpa, and I'm gonna turn off all these lights and just hide in plain sight. It's great. This game is fantastic.
I love the idea of like leveling up your Connie because it's like
Yeah.
she's just like a lady. It's not like she's not Mega Man, you know?
It's like why she got her master's degree. She's like taking some night classes. Yeah,
exactly. She's got her GE. She's getting it back together, guys. She's gonna get the kid back.
She's
my
doing
kind
great.
of worry. So like I liked when we were playing it and we were all kind of just scrubs. I didn't really know what was going on. I worry what the game is like when everybody knows everybody's like leveled up and you are doing things like unlocking doors in 2 seconds. It kind of becomes a whole completely different thing.
Yeah,
100%.
but I mean, Dead by Daylight is so popular, and I think like so many of those people like know that game backward and forward. They must have it figured out, so it's still fun at that point. I'm assuming. I'm just assuming.
Well, it's like even Counter-Strike, right? Like I remember like starting Counter-Strike, no one knew what they were doing. Then at the end, like you play Dust, and everybody just goes to that one tunnel and just starts chucking grenades. Like everyone just knows. Well, that's what you do first. Things like that, but it's still fun.
The match.
Should we play Dead by Daylight on this website?
I
Probably should.
Yeah,
should.
right.
Well,
I'd like to
that's,
try it.
that's that bi-curious thing where it's like all these games are so big that we want to like check in on and see if we want to give them a chance. I think we should maybe start up that feature with games like Dead by Daylight. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, yeah, if we enjoyed Texas Chainsaw as much as we did, and that's just kind of a like, oh, it's like this other thing that might be better and bigger, like maybe we try that one and do the silly Nicolas Cage stuff and all that. It sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean they've released a lot of skins in Dead by Daylight, right? Like Alien is coming out.
Yeah.
Ripley is going to come out.
Yep.
Yeah, we should do
Cage?
Yeah,
Yep,
Nicolas
Nick
Cage.
Cage.
Yeah.
that. Oops, all cages.
Oops, all cages. Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm into it.
But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think it may get close to my top 10 list, maybe the back part of
That's
it,
fun.
because I've been enjoying just like the stealth component of it.
Well, let's try some of these other ones because there is the Evil Dead one that I was always curious. Killer Clowns from Outer Space
Isn't there
comes
a
out I think, later this
Ghostbusters
year.
one, basically?
There's a Ghostbusters one, yeah.
Was it one of those asymmetrical like multiplayer?
Yeah, all of the ones we just mentioned are the same exact thing. There's the
Oh, wow.
asymmetrical Ghostbusters one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, bring back Evolve, please. Evolve can finally live in this world.
Can we?
I wonder if the
like,
devs of Evolved are pissed off because it's like they were the first
yeah.
kind of big game to do this thing and it did not work for
Turns
them
out
at
you need a
all.
license.
Yeah, that helps. But they did that Predator game too. There was a Predator one with a license that was similar, and that didn't do well, did it?
Yeah.
it has its fans. All these things have their fans, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Was the Predator one actually because this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the Friday 13th people, and they do Predator in between these, or am I getting that mixed up?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but that sounds right.
I had some people I knew that really liked that Friday the 13th one for a while there.
And for playing Texas Chainsaw Grub, go ahead, sorry.
No, it was wait, Ilphonic. Yes, that Ilphonic. This is Ilphonic, right? So they did Friday the 13th. They did Predator Hunting Ground. Yeah, that's right. Okay, just double checking.
I'm smart again.
Batting average is wild today, Mike.
Mhm.
Great job. Good job.
Hey, you're welcome.
For folks that are like mildly hesitant to jump into Texas Chainsaw Massacre because they may not have a group of friends to party up with, the matchmaking experience wasn't super bad as long as you just mute the mics and everything like that.
Right.
It does get really sweaty in terms of like people insisting that people play their roles or play their classes. The further you get in and just depending on who you're playing with. I actually had a lot of fun just playing as the victims. I barely played as the family just because I liked the running around stealth component. I've figured out the well loop as well. Oh,
really?
God, the stupid pressure valve that we were struggling with.
Yeah,
I know
never
what to
found that.
do now. It's great. It's
You
great.
just had to grab a physical valve and bring it there?
You have to grab a physical valve and then bring it to a different like pressure tank thing.
Okay.
And then that would cause a chain reaction. There's a lot of stuff that this game just doesn't explain to you as well.
Right. I mean, I
Noticed that.
think games like this are meant to be like, hey, someone figures it out and then they tell their friends, and that's part of the fun.
Right.
And I mean, I think it's I think it's fair if someone wants to call that, well, that's not fair game design, or I don't think that's very good, but I think that's actually a pretty good way to do these kinds of games.
I think the trouble I run into, though, is that I can quickly fall into the same routines doing the routines I fall into, similar to like Hitman, because the multiplayer component makes me feel less inclined to experiment from run to run.
Sure.
But I guess with the voice chat turned off, I don't really think about my other survivors as much.
Right, we had like a couple randoms with us a couple times, and they were just doing their own thing, and it didn't ruin our experience really. We were we were doing our own thing, and we were fine.
I think it was people from the chat though, so it might have been like kind of a
I think
selection of people playing, right?
At a certain point, it was, but I think in like the early games we were doing, it was just randoms, and that was fine. Yeah.
I would enjoy playing this game more with y'all, and then for teaming up and maybe trying Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
So speaking about dead things. Mike Minotti.
Armored Core!
God damn it.
Real quick, I have codes for that Ghostbusters game. Just sit in my email. So if we want to do that one too, we could do that. Okay, I understand.
Speaking about dead things, Mike Minotti, I'm going to assume you put this on the list.
I did.
Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. Oh,
there we go. Yeah, there it
is.
I was desperate for summer vibes, so I did a Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball stream. And
how does that hold up?
I actually had a pretty good time. I never really played it much back in the day, but it's real chill. You just kind of go to the beach.
You played the game? I just watched the opening cinematic repeatedly.
Yeah,
that got a bit more risque than I was expecting. But yeah, you go to a beach. Dennis Rodman's there, and then I chose to play as like an assassin. I forgot. I just picked her for other reasons. And nobody wanted to be my partner for a while because I killed a lot of their mothers, but eventually I bought them enough prezzies that I got a duo.
Oh, sure. Just like real life. Yeah.
Right. And the volleyball is actually pretty fun still. It's really simple. It's basically 2 buttons. You have like the kind of shoot to their side or the shoot to your friend thing to set them up for, spikes and stuff. Worked really well. Go ahead, Jeff.
Did this quench your thirst for summer?
For summer. For summer? For summer. It really did actually. It did kind of make things feel a bit more summery. It's been a lot of gloomy, rainy days in Ohio for what feels like weeks now.
And it rules.
Yeah,
I remember the Game Informer double cover with Sex Lies and Video Games with BMX XXX and Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
Back when sex was cool.
Yeah. You know what? I respect this brand more than Quiet and Metal Gear Solid 5, right?
Okay.
Because it leans into it so hard and doesn't try to be artsy about it?
We were, Jeff's been playing Mortal Kombat 9 and watching that and okay, yeah. But you know what? If you're going to be a TNA game and that's just, you're loud and proud about it.
Sorry, it's
that's
Impact
fine.
Wrestling now, Mike?
Vince Russo made a video game.
There was a TNA chant at All In. That was fun. I don't know. I had a surprisingly good amount of time with it. Also, it has an in-game casino, and I'm just an absolute sucker for those. So Jan, you go. You can put it all on black.
San Andreas? Did he do the casino stuff there a lot?
I never played a ton of San Andreas. I'm not a giant Grand Theft Auto guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
But usually any game that has one of these, I played a lot of Texas Hold'em or whatever it was in Red Dead Redemption. Actually,
yeah.
I played a lot of Vegas Dream for my NES. That's probably why I still like the casino aesthetic now because I associate it with that. I don't know. I had a surprisingly fun time with it. I mean, I basically played through a whole vacation. The whole thing is that you spend 14 days on the island and then the game is done. And basically all you get to keep are the bathing suits that you're able to buy with your volleyball winnings as you're doing it. That's the loop. You make money so you can buy bathing suits.
Were you a big Rumble Roses guy?
I was not a Rumble Roses. Does those hold up?
I don't think they held up then.
Well, there's I know there's a newer Dead or Alive, they made Extreme 2 for 360. There's a newer one that you can still get for PlayStation 4 and Switch even.
There was a PS2 one.
Right.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive Paradise, I believe. Oh, I think Paradise took the volleyball out and it was just the lotion stuff.
Oh,
the lotion stuff.
I thought you didn't like moisturizer games, Mike. Whatever it is. Whatever you call them.
Got me. You got me. I think the newer one doesn't have Christy though, so I'm not interested.
Boo. So I was a wee lad when this game came out. What was the heat on the street? Was this ooh, they're gonna make a scantily clad video game?
Yeah, people were making fun of it back then, even.
Yeah, it was just kind of seen as kind of lame and just kind of I don't know. That was the late 90s, early 2000s, like, think about like wrestling and the way like, the TNA stuff there. It was very much that vibe. And I think even like as a teenager, I remember thinking like, this is kind of lame. Like the Dead or Alive commercials, ooh, she kicks high was the big thing. It's like, all right, look, I'm a horny teenager like everyone, but like I don't need everything to be like, oh, jiggle physics.
I'm a red-blooded American. Yeah. It was always like there would be swimsuit issues of video game magazines occasionally back then.
Yes,
with that blood rain girl in it or something.
There would be like an 8-page feature on like during Tomb Raider being the big thing. Like here's a cosplayer that kind of looks like Lara Croft, and here's 8 pages of photos of her in like the middle of EGM.
Yes, yeah, lad mags. And this was definitely that time. But even then, yes, there were people who definitely who showed up for it, and there's a lot of people who are like, oh no, I'm like I like this. This is like a fun, chill vibe even back then. But most of the critical response was, this is absurd.
I feel like I'd be interested for this game to come out now and just see how it is like kind of. If they try to adapt it at all, or just
like I said,
lean back in.
On Switch.
There's one on Switch. A Dead or Alive?
Switch.
There's like 16,000 games on Switch, so it's impossible to know for sure. But yeah, I think Mike's right.
But
wow.
I think the series has gotten, there's something pure about this one. It's basically just the volleyball and some side activities. I think there's a lot of shenanigans and weirdness you get into.
I love shenanigans.
Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Scarlet on Switch.
Right.
$129?
No, well, based on all the DLC.
For the physical version.
Yeah, because the physical version I think is only in Japan. So if you want
it's rare.
It's rare.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Fun observation. I had no idea how seriously people took volleyball. Like, it is like a cutthroat sport.
Oh yeah.
If not similar to tennis.
Oh yeah. It's huge. It's one of the bigger Summer Olympic sports. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, going from the ocean to the sea, Mike Menotti, you and I, sorry, Dan, we're almost there. Have been playing Sea of Stars.
Yeah. It's been it's interesting because I was looking forward to this game a lot because I like this studio's last game, The Messenger, a good bit, which was
very different game from this.
It's a game that starts out as a Ninja Gaiden with this 8-bit aesthetic, and then you think you beat the game, and then it evolves into a 16-bit aesthetic. It becomes a Metroidvania. It's really cool. But this is them making a Mario RPG, and that stuff all works. The combat and the graphics, like the pixel art, is just gorgeous. But I was looking forward to this, and then this year happened. I was like, okay, maybe this is what I'm going to get to later. And then the reviews came out, and they were pretty glowing.
It's like it was still low 90s, right?
Well,
yeah, it's hovering right around 90 or something like that. So at first, for a little bit, it was like 96, and it came down to earth a bit. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to jump on this right away.
Yeah, it's a 90 on OpenCritic. It's a 90.
Oh dang, okay.
Yeah, but I got to play like an hour last night, and sometimes that's like not much to do anything in a game like this. But I still was having a really good time.
Yeah, I played the first hour as well on the Roger Ally a couple weeks ago when we first got these codes, and I was like, this is enjoyable. This is just immediately pretty enjoyable. So I get that. People talk about the combat kind of not evolving throughout the game, and I'm like, I don't know. As long as it kind of has that active of like in the middle of the combat, I can press the button to do more damage, which my understanding is it does. I think I'll probably be fine for however long this game is.
Oh yeah, It's straight up Mario RPG with the timing, the buttons, timing the blocks, and each special like ability kind of having its own little rules and things you have to do. Like a boomerang, you kind of have to bounce back at foes. But even just like some of the other intricacies, like the way MP works, where you generate MP by doing basic attacks, and the game just straight up tells you use your skills. Like, don't just save them for boss battles, because if you have max MP, you're not using a skill. Well, then you're not regenerating MP, so you're not being optimal.
Because you're also
a combo system.
Yeah, you're also building up a combo meter, and then it stresses to you very early in the game of like, just use your combos because these don't carry over. Just don't hide. Don't be shy.
It also has a really interesting...
the timing attacks well, because it's like, I love the idea of Paper Mario. So but I look at WrestleQuest, and some people describe it as like, oh, it's like Paper Mario Combat. It's like, no, it's just kind of a QTE popping up. Like Paper Mario had like clever implementations of the button presses.
It's okay. I feel like it's easier to kind of try and project for the blocks than it is for the hits, but maybe because I'm not a pro gamer.
No, I think that's a common complaint I've heard as well, and I'm sorry I didn't get more time to play with this game to have an opinion of my own here. But what I've heard is that it's hard to figure out when the timing is correct on attacks, which, to be fair, I guess is true in Super Mario RPG on Super Nintendo. It was like you were guessing a lot of the time with those attacks.
But and I don't, at one point they gave me these kind of badges that are basically like, turn these on, it'll make some games,
Yes.
it'll make things easier, and one of them is it makes a star appear if you time things correctly, makes it more clear. I haven't been having too much trouble with the timings myself yet, but I'm pretty early on. That could change drastically going forward.
am maybe 3-ish hours in.
You're the furthest, yeah.
And I don't think I've been enjoying my time as much as everyone else has.
Most, there's been a lot of like high scores, but there's still like a lot of like 8s out of 10s. Like we're like,
yeah.
3 hours, it's not enough time, but like, where are you like leaning on like a score?
I think the hardest thing with me with like an RPG lately is just it getting its hooks into me as soon as possible. And I think the first hour of this game, Mike, you were alluding to this earlier, but it is very story and lore heavy.
There's a good amount of lore for sure.
Like it's a giant lore dump at the top.
Right. And you do have to expect it a bit for these. I think it starts out so fast and it seems like it's just going to go immediately. And then there's very quickly a flashback that's more like, okay, now we're going to do the lore dump. For some reason, it was working with me fine. I think part of it, too, is I was trying to play Octopath Traveler 2 after being guilted into that. And I still have the big problem with that game that I had with the first one where, like you're saying, the hardest part of a JRPG is that beginning because it's always the lore dump. And Octopath's whole structure is here's 8 of those in a row, and it's just hard for me to get through.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's honestly, because an insane way to make a video game.
I fell on the other side of that this time, where like with Octopath, I was like, it's gonna I don't have time to devote to get to know 8 people. I barely know my own friends these days. But for some reason, that was able to do it versus Sea of Stars. I mean, the combat is fine, and it's been holding my attention. I just think I'm not as interested in the story as I'd like to be.
Don't you hate pixels though, Jan?
Not pixels of this variety, like the 2.5D, but Octopath, it's just so pretty that it's like, okay, this studio does the 2.5D really well. What is one of the JRPGs that's getting remade? Star Ocean? That looks gorgeous.
Second story.
Second story.
I cannot wait for that to come out.
Dragon Quest 3 fucking looks amazing.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about that in a while though. Probably next year. I'm being hopeful.
But it looks amazing.
I'm curious to play a lot more. Right now, like the first impression to me could not be stronger. This really seems up my alley. Like I pretty much have I don't want to play with you anymore to Octopath Traveler 2, like Toy Story 2 means it at the moment. This is my game on Switch right now, Sea of Stars. I'm definitely want to dive in deep. That's a pun. I didn't even realize it because it's a sea.
Because
okay, all right. Batting average is ruined. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was Grand Slam Marooney.
There was another indie RPG that came out either earlier this year that I can't for the life of me figure out what
everyone
called.
told me I was supposed to play
Final Fantasy
that one.
16.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you so much.
But that I feel terrible. Chained Echoes, yes. Thank you, chat.
Yeah,
Chained Echoes had a very, very strong start that I wish I spent more time with it and actually finished it. God, a lot of good RPGs. Stop making games, everyone.
I feel like for a long time we had a lot of these like indie studios trying to make their own like Chrono Trigger or SNES style RPG.
Yeah.
And they always like got some things right, and then it just never really quite worked. And they really seem to be actually figuring that out. And now we're getting some really strong ones here. Like with Chained Echoes, supposedly I didn't get to play it, but this definitely feels like it's going to stand up. And I think it's going to be a surprise hit of the year. I think coming out later is going to help it. I think it's going to show up pretty well at some end of the year stuff.
What's the one that came out like in the last 2 years? It was huge and in development forever. It's kind of like Link to the Past style, kind of top down, not
Tunic?
isometric. What's that, Grub?
Tunic? Are you talking about Tunic?
No. It was indie. It was like kind of anime style, art style.
Is it the one like where like you shoot with the gun, kind of?
Are you talking about the one
yes.
with
Crosscode.
Crosscode. That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of.
I played
was that
30 hours of. I played 30 hours of Crosscode and then was kind of done with it. It was fun. It persists.
It is not Link to the Past though. It's not.
I was trying to remember what it was. I remember playing like 10 hours of it and being like, okay, this seems ambitious. I
really liked Crosscode.
Yeah.
It's good. It's very ambitious. I liked it. I did just kind of, like the dungeons were actually, excuse me, they were really well made. They were pretty intense, and I was actually getting mentally fatigued with them. And at one point, I think I had to do 2 in a row, and they're like real puzzles. Like it was like good puzzle design, but also my brain was tired.
It was no joke.
You know what I couldn't do is Eastward. You talk about like the JRPG long start thing. Yeah. I loved the look. I loved everything about like the aesthetic of Eastward, but holy shit, let's get moving with this game.
Yeah, it's like a pacing thing that I feel like indie studios may not have like the means and resources to when it comes to like cutting stuff like that, or just like tightening it up, just because like you're so in the thick of it for so long.
Yeah, like you work so hard on all this stuff. How do you begin to edit? Like, you
why
don't?
Yeah, in your head, it's like, why even edit? Like, this is my work.
And I think when you're pitching it to people who might spend $30 on it, it's like, look how long it is. Look how it's going to be worth your time and money. So it's hard. It's a tough battle that those developers are in a lot of times, I think.
God, there was another isometric RPG that I think that came out last year that I really enjoyed, but I don't remember it for the life of me. God, I don't remember shit these days. But speaking about RPGs, Grub, you've been playing perhaps one of the biggest, most hyped up RPGs.
Well, we're not allowed to talk about that, guys. Come on.
Madden NFL 24.
That's right, John Madden, the original role play. Yeah, I've played a couple of matches of this. It's still that game. Their big change this year is this like meter that shows up when you're passing, and depending, they always have it like depending on how you press the pass button for whichever receiver. Guys run along the sideline, and he's B on there. You hit B to throw to him, and if you were to hold B, it would be like, oh, it's a bullet pass, and if you tap B, it's going to lob, and they still have that. But now there's also a meter that pops up, and it's like an accuracy meter. And this is like when you start the game, it's like they always do this, like with their big new feature. It's like, do you want to use it this year, or do you kind of want to just do what we did last year and kind of be stupid?
Yeah,
and it's like,
games always do that.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, I guess I'll use your new thing you worked hard on. You're already guilt tripping me about it, and I use it. And it's like everything that they've added pretty much since Hit Stick, where it's just like it doesn't change that much. It's not that fun. It's like it is a redux of QB Vision, those Vision cones. They did that one year.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that's still around.
Right. I don't see it in the game. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff that they always do, though, because Hit Stick and Truck Stick and all that stuff were like actually really popular, and they still do have that in the game. But everything else since then has just kind of been like, this is not a good enough replacement. It's not a good enough reason to upgrade. And then everything else sort of just feels forgotten about and just slightly touched up for the next year. That said, the Lions are going to be good, so I'm having fun playing as my Lions.
What's the present? I haven't played a man so long. What's the presentation like these days? Is
Pretty
it
good.
Like really exciting, really fun, very TV-like, or?
It's the commentary is better than I ever remember it being. It was actually surprisingly good. Yeah, what's that?
Do they do the super like depth of field camera with in Madden now that they do in NFL games?
They actually, I didn't see a ton of that. Like in terms of like what the visuals look like. I like the sports games when they go very much like, hey, there is like a certain, like ESPN does NHL games, and we're going to make this NHL game look exactly like an NHL game on ESPN. And I like that. Here, they're not trying to like look like Fox Sports or anything like that. It's just Madden's its own thing. So there's not a lot of mimicking camera movements that you see in real live action football games, which I would really like. I would welcome that stuff. And maybe there's options for that. But in terms of like the vanilla experience, it's like, no, we're going to be Madden. We're going to be behind the thing. We're just going to give you all the information. And then all of the special stuff will come from the commentary. And the commentary was like very natural, which I was kind of surprised. I bet it's been like that for the past couple of years, and I just haven't checked in on it, though.
Quick question, if any of you gentlemen know, what do these studios look like? Do they tend to retain the same folks, or like
Tiburon? Tiburon's been like, Tiburon's in Orlando, Florida. Not a lot of other studios to go work there. And they kind of just have these teams that rotate around this. And now they're doing NCAA college football, and they do golf. and I think they might have one other project that is slipping my mind, but they work on all those things now. And it's that team is pretty. There's a lot of continuity between the talent that works on those teams. Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it wild that we haven't seen Madden kind of go the Fortnite, Call of Duty skinification of stuff? Of like, yo, I want a football team full of Nicki Minaj's.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have to be like an alternate mode because I think people would freak out about that.
People would get really upset about that?
I mean, because there's Madden Ultimate Team, right? And this is where you get the decks of cards and the characters. You get like Barry Sanders, and he's like a level 99 card that I can put on my team and then play as him. And people really like that. I wonder if there's space in there for then you to have be like, here's my ICP card. Now I have Violent J on my team.
Hell yeah.
You could legitimately have a team of all Gokus.
Yes. Listen, I love this idea, but it would probably have to be a whole other mode separate from Madden Ultimate Team.
Is there much of a anime NFL fan base crossover? I know that anime's been crossing over with every other fan base. But
NBA
NFL,
huge, definitely. I don't know about football.
So when NFL teams announce their schedule, they're supposed to do like a special presentation on social media, and several teams for multiple years now have done anime opening sequences for shows to like show who they're playing. They'll like, here's the Seattle Seahawks, and like they'll have an anime take on the Seahawks or whatever, and that's pretty popular.
More anime and everything is what I always say.
I don't think we can escape it.
No, we can't escape it at this point. Especially
Dan's gonna explode if he's not allowed to talk about Armored Core 6.
You're talking about anime.
Is anyone playing Blasphemous 2? Yeah, just real quick.
T-Ball's on the stand.
The Last of Us. Dan, I'll give you a guess, buddy. What is the game of the week?
Armored Core 6!
Fires of Rubicon. May I just say, I love the narrator in this. Raven.
Oh, yeah.
Yes! Handler Walter?
Walter. Yeah, Walter. Yeah.
Why has no one told me about Armored Core until now? This series has been going on since 1997. No one. I've been working in games since 2005. Not one motherfucker has suggested Armored Core to me.
Clearly,
it is a failing.
Don't care about you.
Yeah, it is a failing of all of us as a society.
I think you all assumed that I wouldn't like it. I've asked numerous people on this podcast, on other podcasts, oh, would I be into this? And everyone's like, I don't think so. I think Mitch looked me in the eye on a Zoom call and said, I don't think you're going to like it.
I told you this. I definitely told you this.
This one.
Oh, I think that was me. And then I think, like, didn't Mahardy also say he didn't think you'd like this either? Okay.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. People that know me well are telling me I wouldn't like it. Meanwhile, I play this and it's making fireworks go off in my brain. I feel alive in a way that games have never made me feel. Like,
I think all those people also never played Armored Core. I think, like, so many people are coming to this one as their first Armored Core.
This is my first Armored Core,
like me,
really.
like you. And, like, I think we're all like, would I have always liked this? And I just never play these games because I don't know.
I was talking to Austin Walker about this. Turns out he's a big Armored Core fan. And I was talking to him about this.
That's weird. He should
him and Max. I don't know.
And so he was excited we talked a little bit, and he was telling me a little bit about like, 1 through 3 are like this, 4 gets weird, 5. So it sounds like each one of them is kind of different in how it approaches things, and there's ups and downs in quality and weirdness and stuff like that.
I think with 6, they're like, what if we made it really good?
Yeah.
Well, you can definitely see the Elden Ring money in this game because it is gorgeous.
I
and
think
it
it
runs
looks
very
beautiful.
well.
It's very
PC.
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really
there's something. Like, I've always loved, like, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, those kind of, like, stylish action, like that feeling of, like, when you get that perfect dodge, which time thing in Bayonetta, that's great. This one is just that, but nonstop, especially you get into, like, a boss fight, and you feel like you are just locked into the game, like you are connected to the game with this, I know it's overused, this phrase, but, like, it's a dance of this constant, like, dodging out of the way, getting in and doing your pulse blade, and then you die, and then you go back, and it's like, okay, so I need to take that shield down, so why don't I do pulse or plasma missile launchers here, and then 2 pulse guns, oh, that didn't work, okay, let's go, I need the blade for this, like, I love, like, I thought the customization was going to be boring. I thought that was going to be a thing that drove me off because, like, when I play Gran Turismo or a Forza, I never fuck with the, like, adjust your drivetrain. Let's have the axles, 2 centimeters up. Like, I don't do that stuff. I'm not like a big, like, gearhead type in that way.
So why does it work here?
It's like You do have a lot you can do. You have like 4 weapon slots you can do. You've got these like generators, boosters, your arms, your legs, your core, your head, and there are like weight things. So you do have to like consider like I do want to do a big bulky guy with like missiles and stuff. But since the missiles are heavy, I'm going to need like a less mobile core. But like I like doing these reverse joint legs because then you can like jump up really high and you're super mobile. So my guns have to be a little more lightweight. So you kind of have to spec it out, but then you can save these loadouts. So it's like, all right, this boss, I need to be fast and have plasma stuff, so I'll go to this loadout. You know, this one, I need to be a fucking tank and just do explosive stuff. I'll do this one.
Literally a tank.
Yeah. Last night, I did this boss fight that was, it's not the big, baltiest one that people were having trouble with. I beat him. He killed me a lot. But it was one that people were having trouble with, and on my 3rd time with him, I did it on stream, and it was, I fucking had the last moment. I was 1 hit away from dying, and I'd used all my health kits and everything, and I think all my guns were reloading, and a couple of the guns had run out of ammo, and he was about to hit me with some shit, and I just, like, in the last moment realized, oh my god, I've got my one-time use, one permission thing where I can hit L3 and triangle, and it makes this huge pulse explosion go out. And I hit it right before I died. The boss blew up, and it was just the most, I believe the kids say hype, the thing I've fucking felt in a game in forever. It is so fucking good.
That's so fun to hear. I love when people are just having the fireworks, like you said, Dan, are going off in their heads. It's that's good. It's great.
In terms of like adrenaline, I'm trying to think of what could even like when I was doing the Tyson speedrun stuff and I had a really good run going, I was fighting Tyson, that type of like physical reaction in my body and my brain, like, Neon White at times could kind of flirt with that feeling a little bit. But this is just like, I'm just, my brain is doing things while I'm playing this, and I love it.
I think I may have came off too negative in the quick look. And I just want to reiterate that I do like this game. It is just very, very different than how it was being billed to me, it being like a From game and everything. Like I was expecting like mech parries and like it to be Sekiro, but it is not completely that. Right?
I think that's the thing that like I heard several people be a little disappointed by it. And I think that if you went in expecting this to be the next game from the creators of Elden Ring and like that's kind of what you're expecting, I could see this being kind of a surprise, like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. But I went in with no expectations. I literally loaded it up just to say I tried it. I was going to do like a little test stream, check my internet here. And I even told people at the beginning of the stream, like, hey, I'm probably going to play 15 minutes of this. I'm going to hate it. And then I'm never going to think about this again. And I was like right away, like, ooh, hey, this feels good. Hang on. Oh, whoa, okay, wait, I'm learning how to do this stuff. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I could do that. It's if a fucking like landmark Zelda game didn't come out this year, there's a world where fucking Armored Core could be my game of the year.
Well, who knows? The further you get into this, Dan, it might wind up hooking you.
I do. It's severely good.
Well, since we have an Armored Core expert here now, Dan Reichert, I do like I started it just before the show. It runs really good on the Roger Ally, by the way. Yes, like surprisingly good. But so I've been playing it there. I'm going to play it on the PC too. But I have some questions about like the way things work. The lock on, am I? Do I need to be like looking right at it and then click in R3, and then the red reticle will go over it, and then I'm locked on?
Yeah, that's a hard lock. So if you hit R3 while looking at opponent, it'll lock onto that. That way you can do some really fast like strafes around and stuff. And it'll generally.
I did the helicopter and I needed that.
At times, like something can move really dramatically.
Dumbass.
Oh, you haven't locked on?
I didn't realize it did that.
Ooh. Oh, that's.
I thought it was kind of wonky at first, but I think I need to be like looking right at it to get the lock on to take. Is what I thought.
No, it's pretty generous and like even like. So I just bought this. I just fought this like weird like BattleBots Cinder Carla Cinder is this boss fight. Mike, you probably know, and like there's like a weak spot up front that you can lock onto, and that's what I was shooting for. But then I realized like there's almost this like volcano on her back, and then I just kind of hit up on the right analog stick, and it very smartly just kind of like locked onto.
Oh yeah, once it's locked on, I think I could do that. Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, and that's what's cool is like you can go for that front, weak spot. But then I started getting a really vertical mech, and I was flying above it and just like shooting into this volcano thing, and it seemed like that was staggering it faster. And yeah, man, it's just incredible.
Should I be aggressive? Because here I beat that helicopter boss, and it was tough. Actually, I was like, it took me like 4 or 5 times. And the time I beat it, it was like I just got super aggressive, was going for the blade, and was doing my best to like the game's saying get in the air to avoid these things.
It depends per fight. You kind of have to see it works, and that's kind of like again a big difference from a Souls like.
Well, that's not different from Sekiro. Like getting the ass is the Sekiro strategy.
I mean, no, I mean in terms of, when you're starting an Elden Ring, you could be like, what's my build going to be for this entire game?
Sure.
Like I'm going to use magic, and that's
yeah.
what I'm going to do the whole game, or I'm going to be a sword and shield guy. Like you, at first you almost think that, and that was my mindset. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to be like a guy with a lot of missiles, and then you're going to run across a boss where that doesn't really work very well. And you do kind of have to go into the lab a bit, and you have to sort of experiment and try different builds. Sometimes it's kind of obvious, like that big boss that a lot of people have trouble with at the end of chapter
Altius.
1. So yeah, so much of it is that it has these energy shields, and you need to be using energy weapons to take down those energy shields. But sometimes you're going to have a really fast opponent, so you have to have a different approach there, or a really tanky one, so being agile and dodging stuff can be important there.
Yeah, and Grub, keep an eye on that like stagger meter, because like as you attack them, that yellow bar will fill up, and like as soon as that's down and they're kind of staggered for a bit, that's when, if you time it right and all your shit's reloaded and you've got your like pulse blade melee and everything, that's when it's like, all right, launching both of my shoulder missiles, and then I'm getting in there with the pulse blade. I'm attacking as much as possible while I've got that
That's
window.
when the stagger meters, when I was like, okay, I could see that the pulse blade was doing a ton of addition to the stagger meter and a ton of damage. So I'm like, I need to get close enough, even though this helicopter's kind of like getting out of the way and making that difficult. I'm like, I figured the timing of like, once he's done moving, he doesn't move again for a minute, so I can get in there with the blade, do a ton of damage, and then it was trivial at a certain point. But
the other thing, Grub, is just manually reload. Like manually reload, just stay on top of your ammo count.
Okay, so how do I manually reload? Am I like
hold the Y, whatever the top button is, and then your weapon.
Okay, all right, cool. Did not know that. All right, fantastic. That was frustrating. Where I was like, I don't think I'm firing anything right now, and I don't know how to reload. So
I need to get better.
There's a lot of UI elements to keep track of, and it's so important to to make sure you have something to shoot when you stagger an enemy. So you have to be like aware of like, okay, they're gonna be staggered soon. Like, do I have something to actually hit them with? Do I need to kind of hold back here because I don't want to spend this whole stagger bar just reloading like an idiot?
Yeah.
And Grub, have you noticed the yellow like quarter circles that show up that let you know when missiles are able to be shot?
No.
So that's critical. So anytime you're like looking at an enemy, you will see like 2 quarter circles, and it'll say like 2 on the left and 8 on the right. If you have like, let's say, a dual missile on your left shoulder, and then an 8 vertical missile thing on your right. So as soon as you see that number, you know you can hit it. But then you can also paint.
What is it telling me? Is it saying that they're locked on?
They're ready to go. They're ready to go. They're locked on. They're ready. So.
Okay, fantastic. All right,
but let's say there's 4 enemies. If there's 4 enemies there and you have an 8 missile launcher thing, you can hold in R1 and kind of paint them, and it'll say 2, 2, 2, 2 to let you know that like each one of these guys is getting 2.
All right, so when I'm locked onto the helicopter and I was firing the missiles, were all the missiles definitely going to hit that, or should I have been also trying to hold it so it would paint it?
Oh, if it's one target, just tap it.
Okay, all right, because I thought that's what was working. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean. Playing it, I want to know the answers to these things because it's like I can feel like, oh, there's more to do here. I can get better and better, and it feels very exciting when I'm pulling these things off. Like when I did get in the ass, and I was like, yes, we're going to take the blade to this guy. I'm like, okay, I have a strategy here, and it's working. And that
studied the blade.
Good. I studied the blade.
Yeah. One thing I
tutorial missions. They are useful, and you get free parts.
Yes,
that's
tutorial
they just told me that, so I'm going to do that next. Yeah.
Yeah. And like one thing that was fun, I didn't really get to do this because I was reviewing it with like an Elden Ring, is actually just going online and watching people's videos for tips on how to do thing. I imagine that can help here. But the most fun thing for me to do lately with this game after review was to go online, like on that first week, and go with my end game mech with all of these people just jumping into these lobbies with like their whatevers, and just it's like it's like the scene in Always Sunny where they're just beating up the kids.
Yeah.
That was just me. It was great. I was loving it.
So how do y'all hold the controller, play this game? Because I wind up having like my pointer fingers on the bumpers and then my middle fingers on the triggers because I'm just like letting everything go as soon as I'm fully reloaded.
I'm still just rolling.
Are you just rolling? Okay.
Yeah, I'm rolling too.
Still.
All right.
I was like, I remember that conversation we had about this, Jan, and so I kind of went back and forth a little bit, but I think I'm gonna go with rolling unless my weapons are in such a way where I'm like, no, I need to do all of them at once. But even then, I think I would just probably try to tap it quick.
There's so many fun builds you can do. Like, is it the dual trigger mode or whatever, where you just put like 2 machine guns or 2 pulse things on there, and so you're just holding L2 and R2 and just like dual wielding.
Yep.
My kind of final build was like my main arms were just 2 like Gatling guns, so just constant spray. Then I had like the 2 best grenade launchers on my shoulders. So and they do a ton of stagger damage and just damage, but they're hard to hit. But if I can kind of get above people and wait for them to be on the ground, then the splash damage is going to get them enough just to do so much stagger. So
Yeah.
that was kind of like
okay,
what
that
I
sounds
settled
awesome.
on
Yeah,
them.
I really
that
liked
sounds
the
cool.
reverse legs because of the verticality you get.
Yes.
But then I
reverse
wound up
joint.
the reverse joint, and then I wound up sticking with the tetrapod legs because I just really enjoy the hover and just like being
Yeah.
able to just stay on top of someone. Oh, it's good. It's good.
Also, Grub, you can sell items that you buy for full price. So spend your money. If you don't like it, you can just sell them.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so yes, they get full
Okay.
permission to experiment.
So that kind of brings me to one of my like very small gripes is that I kind of wish they just gave you more tools to begin with. Because at least for me personally, when I was trying to beat the end boss of chapter 1, I wound up having to do a lot of grinding and just like kind of mix and match all the parts that I wanted to roll with. That being said, it is very generous with the currency, the comb you get at the when you
we banned that word.
Comb. It's different.
Sorry.
Combers.
When you like redo a mission and everything. So
Right.
it didn't take
That's
too
exactly
long.
what I did
Yeah.
too. After when I was struggling, it's like I had to quit that mission, just go grind, like one of the easier early ones to get a bunch of money. And you know, I always like grinding because I'm a sicko, but you know, it didn't take too long.
It didn't take
So
too
you can
long.
just do an old mission you've already beaten, and you can get money that
Totally.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. I love the way they do, like when you're in the store, you can just hit square or X or whatever to play video, and it doesn't have to load anything. You don't have to go in and actually try it out.
Yes.
You just hit square, and it's like, ooh, that's a big plasma rocket launcher. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'll buy that.
God, yeah. Hearing your enthusiasm, Dan, makes me want to go back, circle back, and just like try and beat it. I think I'm on chapter 3 or 4 now.
That's pretty late into it.
It's so good that like that Baltius, that chapter 1 boss, that like I died so many times, and I remember there was one time I died and I had him down to nothing, and instead of being like upset at all I was excited because it's like, okay, well I know eventually I'm going to beat him and it's going to feel fucking awesome, and it did.
And that is very From Software-esque to have that difficulty spike boss that
Yes.
other people would never, because they'd be like, well, this is all
Right.
suddenly way harder. But no, it's actually like really fun to hit this roadblock that like takes a while, and then again, when you do beat it, it is this like great moment. You feel fantastic.
Right. It's not a Soulsborne game, but it's definitely a From game.
The
Definitely.
Yeah. The scale though that they play with is so fun. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
one of the early missions when you have to jump onto like the crawler thing.
Yeah.
And I
That's such a
was
good
not
early mission.
expecting the giant laser to come out of it.
Yes.
And I just got
There are
obliterated.
times you just get fucked up in this game. It's like, whoa, okay, I need to rethink this.
Yeah, lots of times.
It's been such a busy year that it's like I was like, okay, man, thanks. Dan's doing Immortals of Avium, so I don't have to even think about that game. And Jan's handling Armored Core, so I'll sit on the quick look at that. No, whatever. And now it's like, man, hearing these games are good. It's like, or the Armored Core is good. It's like, okay, I guess I got to play that as well as these 4 other things I'm playing.
At least Armored Core is like a 15, like 20 hour
Yes,
game, right?
exactly.
Which these days is short. It's so short that some people will criticize you.
And I don't have a lot of other things that are working on the PC handhelds right now, so it's like this is a really good one to play on there. So I'm glad to have an option on those right now.
It kills me. It always makes me laugh that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was, when people were making a big stink about like, they're killing single player gaming. It's like, oh, everything's gonna be multiplayer. Everything's like, look at this year.
Yeah.
Tears of the
Poor
Kingdom,
idiots.
Starfield, Armored Core. It's like, no, I think we're gonna be fine with single player
Games are
games.
bad now. There's
Yeah.
nothing to play.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yep. It's and it always comes from like because one company will like back away from that stuff, and then they'll have a revelation to look at another company and be like, man, Capcom's making a lot of money just putting out Resident Evil games. Why aren't we have Dead Space? Why aren't we doing that? And it's like it takes another company to actually succeed at it before they come around to it. But here we are, and all these companies I think now realize they can't just do a live service game succeeded. We all were making this live service games.
Yeah.
They know that they'll make the same mistake again with whatever the next big trend is. But right now they know that live service is not some magical solution for them. So yeah, it's refreshing.
Hey, in the battle of the remakes, which one should I of this year? Which one should I
Resident Evil
circle?
4.
Why are you even asking? Yeah,
Resident Evil 4.
Well, I realize that
Four.
then Mike is here. Okay.
Yep.
Well, what other one were you gonna even say?
Dead
Dead
Space.
Space. I
mean,
thought
that's
I was gonna
fine.
get the Dead Space, but it might be hard now. Resident Evil 4 is like look, it's probably Tears of the Kingdom, but like it might be Resident Evil 4.
RE4 is the best remake of all time. Dead Space is a good remake. It's a solid remake. RE4 goes above and beyond the usual like good remake stuff.
I was listening to the credits song from RE4 remake on loop again all weekend. The Bullet or the Blade. It's so freaking good. It gets me amped up. I loved that game. God.
So Jan, the answer is Metroid Prime remaster.
Oh, right, that happened.
Hey,
yeah,
that
Metroid
game.
Prime. Well, that game is so good too, but that's not like Dead Space or Resident 4 where they made a new game.
It's not a remake.
Before we head to break here, folks, gentlemen, it's about to be September.
That's
is
weird.
is there anything in the back burner of the list of this that's come out this year that you're curious about circling back to? Any big
2
hitters?
is the one right now this week. Blasphemous 2 is this Metroidvania game that is getting pretty good. Yeah, Blasphemous 2. It's getting pretty good review scores. It's got like an 84 on OpenCritic. And I didn't jive with Blasphemous 1, but people seem to really be into this one. So I'm gonna check it out, I guess. But man, that's just another thing. And then from earlier this year, I can't even think. Like honestly, Resident Evil 4, because Mike will fucking murder me if I don't play through that.
I will kill you if you don't give that an actual chance before Game of the Year. We will not be friends anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to just do that on a stream, Grub? I'll sit with you.
I'm gonna make a stream of it. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
For me, there's like a dead zone when I started. I had to have all my stuff packed up and everything.
Right, yeah.
So so it's like right when Diablo 4 and Street Fighter 6 came out. That was right when I was like getting everything packed up. So I remember thinking like, I can't even start these games in earnest because I'm not gonna be able to play them. So like those are my back. Like anything that came out basically in the couple months I was in transition. Like that's what I need to get back to.
I don't think that System Shock remake really got it to do. From what I played of it, it seemed
we did
really
a quick look.
good.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I want to play more of that. I like Octopath Traveler 2 was kind of my big one, and I just finished the 3 hours of that free demo, and then paid the $60 for the full game, and then haven't touched it again. Then now I'm playing First I was playing Curse Crackers. So proud of myself for remembering that name, and then now I'm playing Sea of Stars. So yeah, here we are.
This is a very me pick, but Fuga 2 Melodies of Steel. This is the load a child into the Soul Cannon if you really
some
need to.
Moisturizer RPG.
It's Moisturizer adjacent because it's all cats.
Yeah. Okay, don't they have famously dry skin cats?
That's why I said moisture adjacent. But Fuga 2, people have been getting on my case for not talking about Fuga 2. Not Fupa, Fuga, F-U-G-A. God, I gotta load these children into a spirit cannon or soul cannon.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I also,
such a children today.
I've been having a note that has been burning in my notes app that I need to talk about Final Fantasy 16, and I don't think anyone is ever gonna finish it on this website. Maybe Tam will.
Wow, I have to finish it. I'm a Final Fantasy guy. And I'm getting a lot of shit for not beating this game. And it's not like I like the game. I liked it a good bit. I just don't ever find myself like in the living room to play video games these days. So
he's just always out on the town.
I'm always partying, but no, I'm always like here or in bed playing Switch. Like that's my two gaming modes, basically.
The only person I've told my thing about Final Fantasy 16 with is Lexi.
Jan, real quick, I can't for audio listeners, Jan's holding his cheeks and he's making his face, and I can't tell if it's a thirsty face or an excited because it's good face.
Oh, is this about Benedicta?
No.
Okay, all right. I just couldn't tell. I couldn't tell.
I do have it may be upsetting for Final Fantasy fans, but for the twisted type of fan that I am, it is exciting. Let's just say that.
Okay. All right.
Right. And a lot of folks know my taste in role-playing games. So we'll just leave that there, and maybe we'll revisit this conversation in December.
Tiles.
There's no tiles in this. Yes.
Well, maybe that's what you're talking about. Surprise tiles right at the end.
Surprise. Anyway, folks, that was a lot of games.
Mario Wonders this year. Holy shit!
We'll talk about it in the news, but Wonder Direct coming.
Not damn, but I have a feeling some of us might get a chance to play that. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. But it'd be weird if it wasn't at this Nintendo thing, right?
Yep.
Oh, what the Fire Emblem Engage came out this year?
Yes, you
Who
did.
cares?
Really? Holy
I
shit.
do. I like that game a lot.
I liked it, but come on, Jeff. Everything else? Come on.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be in the top 10.
Come on.
Jan,
like it a lot.
what is the gimmick with the hair? Like, what do you have to? What
If
what
I don't-
makes you
Shave it.
have to cut your hair?
If I don't beat Tears of the Kingdom by the time the Saturday Giant
buzz
Bomb
cut.
panel starts, I'm
Oh,
buzzing the
this
hair off.
Yeah, you
Saturday?
have like,
This
you have like
Saturday.
2 days, and then you're going to be traveling. It's not happening.
Well, yeah,
And
but
wait,
the way
are
he's
you going
traveling
bald if
provides
you don't?
time for him to play the game.
Like shaved head, not like skin, not Mr. Clean
Okay, but
bald.
He's
like
traveling. He starts
shaving.
traveling tomorrow, so
Yes.
don't worry.
You're not. It's not happening.
Hey, real question, Jan. How committed? Like, if you don't see credits by the panel, are you gonna do it?
Yeah,
he has
I'm
to.
gonna have to talk to our PAX person and like, is it okay if I shave my head at a panel?
And they're
Oh,
like,
on
man,
stage.
so much weird
Yes.
stuff has happened here.
They'll
Like, we
be-
don't
They're
care.
going to say that'll be $8,000.
Excellent. Okay,
Yes,
well, good luck with that.
I had to double check of whether or not I could bring clippers onto a plane, and apparently you can.
I shaved my head the first time at a PAX. Vinny shaved my head at a PAX, and that's the first time I ever did that.
Well, there you go.
Man,
So
I cut
there's
Jeff's.
precedent.
We cut Jeff's hair in the hot box garage. That's the real way you're supposed to do it.
You know,
what was that? Was that like a couple days after Christmas? Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it was a late Christmas party. Yeah.
So I finally told my partner about this bet. After this story, we'll go take a quick break, folks, and get to you with the news. My partner's been super busy, so she hasn't been up to date on like the stupid shit that I say all the time. And I told her, it's like, hey, there's a chance that I might come back bald after this work trip. She was like, what? Why? And she's expressly told me multiple times that part of the reason she likes me so much is my hair.
Yeah.
No.
Jan, what are you doing?
Oh, you can't
What are
do
you
that.
doing?
Jan, this happens. Listen,
This happens.
No.
They say that, and then you get a new haircut that got a little. And they're like, "Well, okay, listen, I was mad at you, but now I really like this haircut." That's what happened to me. So you're gonna be fine.
And then-
I was told I was never allowed to cut my hair, and then I did, and well, Mike did, and now here I am.
That's how I am with the beard, because my wife loves the beard, and like that's why I don't even enter any kind of bets. That's never a consequence that's on the table. That's not happening.
And then like I looked at her thinking like, oh, she's gonna be really mad. Oh, what am I gonna do? There's no popcorn buckets in Seattle for me to buy. I
You can maybe
think
find one at the needle, right? Maybe there's a space
probably.
needle.
Oh,
Listen,
that'd be
the
fun.
solution is simple: beat the game.
And then she was like,
Yeah.
He's not beating the game.
I'm
He doesn't
gonna-
want to beat the game. He wants this. He's wanted this from the very beginning, Jan. Just admit it. You were never going to try to beat that game. You just wanted an excuse to do a
all right,
drastic aesthetic change.
we were doing a quick look yesterday, and I felt bad because I was quiet because I didn't want to tell these two that what I was recording the quick look with that I was playing Tears of the Kingdom actively.
Hell
Because I'm like, all right, like I think I'm okay, like I think I can get there, but all these other
holy shit.
games,
The beauty of remote work.
Oh man, that's incredible.
and then
It's not happening.
and then there's because some people agreed to a stupid idea I had. I'm gonna be
Oh, it's their fault. It's
no. I'm gonna be locked into a very unique way of getting to PAX. So
Oh.
I'll have time to
Train.
play.
He's got a lot of time.
So if you hear any Korok sounds in the background of the Starfield quick look,
I actually there was a moment where I frantically had to like jam on the mute button on my Switch. I'm like, I hope they didn't hear that. Okay, all right, cool.
That's good stuff.
All right, folks. Well, that is the update on Tears of the Kingdom. Armored Core 6 is absolutely amazing. Dan is now a mech person. Just wait till we launch our 25th anime podcast called Gun Dan.
Ah.
That
works, yeah.
No, that works. We'll see you after this quick break with the news. I feel like, when you're in an AA program or some type of recovery program, you got to go through all the steps. I feel like because I may be on the precipice of cutting my hair, I need to go tell Barber Jan. It's like, hey, can I have your blessing for someone else to cut my hair?
You need to come be right with Jesus. You got to be right with Barber Jan.
I got to be right with Barber Jan. God, and this will be news to him that I'm cutting my hair, just like Grub is bringing news to us.
Wow. This mansion's haunted.
Pachow.
Hello, I have news here for everybody. The big news off the top here this morning, Nintendo announced its September Direct, which is a Super Mario Brothers Wonder specific Direct. It's going to be 15 minutes. It's happening August 31st at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We are, let's see, what is that? Is that Thursday?
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah.
Okay, so we will talk over that, but a lot of the guys are going to be out. So Dan, Mike, we're leaving later that day, so you want to do a
Yeah, what time is it again?
What? I'm in.
It's like first thing in the morning.
Wait, what time?
10 a.m.
Yeah, I'll post some time.
Eastern?
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern.
That'll be fine. Yes, that'll work. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and then I'll go right into Game Mess Mornings.
It's gonna be 15 minutes. It said too.
It'll be 15 minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll talk over that, and then but they do say it's focused on Super Mario Brothers Wonder. They normally have big directs in September. Do we think they're not going to have one of those this year? Is this just about?
I don't know. I see a lot of coping, like people like, oh, there's definitely gonna be another one, but I mean, I could totally see them just not really this time. I mean, what else is there really for them to talk about for the rest of the year? There's Wonder is the big thing. Then there's all these other known quantities like Mario RPG, the Pokemon DLC has already been talked about. So I don't. It wouldn't shock me if not.
Honestly, yeah. Like I wouldn't mind if they wanted to have a direct. It's just being like, hey, we put out a bunch of good shit this year. Go back and check all that shit out. Because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't like Pikmin.
Yeah. What if early next year they have a plan for here's the actual Switch 2 reveal.
Right.
Like they might have bigger plans that they're saving up for.
Even if it's they just start talking about it, even if they mention it and say here's a name, here's a tease, and then we'll have a bigger reveal for that even later. But yeah, that could happen in a direct. Yeah.
I mean, because Jeff, you've been saying a direct is going to happen in September, but you said you never knew which one. Like you don't think there's going to be two, right?
I don't think so.
Be two. I think this is it. And
yeah, I don't think so. I think this is it. But anything can happen. But that's my opinion is that there won't be another one. This is the direct for September. That said, I am very excited about Super Mario Brothers Wonder. It's been hard to look past all the games that we're kind of sitting on, but I'm just getting to the point where it's like, oh yeah, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Super Mario RPG remake,
WarioWare.
Wait,
there's a bunch of cool games. Even just
RPGs
just on Switch.
this year?
That's this year. That's this
November.
year.
Oh,
yep.
Motherfucker.
Doesn't it feel like it feels like next week is game of the year? Because all these games came out. We're in November now. No, it's August still. It's fucking August. It is bizarre out there. So there's still several months of games yet to come this year. But Nintendo is definitely on the slow decline for the Switch. Yeah, we're gonna keep selling the thing where it's gonna do very well. These are all games that we're very excited about. We already had a direct about most of the games that we know are coming, and I think we're kind of waiting to see if there's anything else. If they do have other announcements, I think that they would probably just announce them on Twitter or on YouTube like they have in the past, and that would be fine.
We should all still get not Dan, but the rest of us should still get, maybe not Jeff. Well, I should still get really upset if Hollow Knight Silk Song is still not at this direct.
I'll get upset with you. I like
Jan.
that first one for the 2 hours I played.
Hell yes.
I hate you all.
Yes.
I didn't say I didn't like it, Mike. I just didn't have time.
We're not talking about this.
Yeah, big
Spoon Heaven. That's right.
Yes.
That's what Jeff called that game. He couldn't think of the name for Hollow Knight once
Spoon
on
Heaven?
our podcast, and he called it Spoon Heaven.
What is the Hollow Knight Silk Song? Silk Song sound like Spoon Heaven in my
How
head.
did you get to Spoon Heaven?
I told him he said,
just the inner workings of my brain are inexplicable and
you know what?
shall not be explained.
I've come to learn a lot about your brain, so it's not surprising. Actually,
Yes,
he reminded me.
It's all the sunflower seeds stuck up there. I couldn't get those out. So, yeah, it's a big problem.
My friend's mom once kept calling Overwatch Space Grumpers, and that's what it reminded me of.
That's pretty good. Yes.
That's us.
better.
You know,
We're the Space Grumpers. No, we're the celebration of cynicism. or
Yes,
something,
here we
'cause
are.
We skipped too many trailers. We skipped too many commercials.
All right, Gamescom happened. I'm not going to go over everything. Here's kind of a roundup of stuff. There were plenty of announcements. We talked about those last week. There were a lot of interviews, though, as well. Mostly Xbox out there, sort of on the sort of the circuit of answering questions from a bunch of different people. Xbox's CMO said Starfield is going to be the start of a constant flow of Xbox first-party titles, something that they've been promising for a half decade, if not longer. Maybe like 7 years. It's like we're like, okay, they're going to get to that point eventually. I guess I want to ask you guys: do you believe them now? That Starfield is like, okay, Starfield's here, then we're gonna get Hellblade 2, and then Perfect Dark, and then this and that, and Avowed, and all these games are gonna start coming out at a pretty rapid pace.
I believe them in principle, but it's just going to take 1 or 2 delays to once again create a big pocket that people are going to stare at. Like that's going to happen again every now and then. We see it happen all the time. But in general, I think it's going to certainly be better than it was these last couple of years.
Have they straight up said that like Starfield is not coming ever to PlayStation?
It's not. It's never coming to PlayStation.
Wow. Okay.
Yep, that's true for
Big
Elder
one.
Scrolls 6 as well. Yes, yeah.
All the
Oh,
Bethesda
holy
joints.
shit. So they're just going all in. Like, hey, this is Xbox.
Yes, exactly. For Bethesda stuff, yes. Call of Duty, they're not doing that with whenever they get that. But yeah, Phil Spencer said he doesn't see a future where games come to Series X but don't also come to Series S. This became a big thing because of Baldur's Gate. We'll have news on that here in a second. But he's committed to supporting the Series S throughout the rest of this generation. He then also kind of encompassed a conversation about mid-gen upgrades and like a pro model of the Xbox. And he once again said, like, we're not going to do that. We're not thinking about doing that. We don't think players want that. We don't think developers want that. And we don't want it. I'm inclined to believe him. And yet we know that PlayStation is, the rumors are anyhow, that PlayStation is going to do a PS5 Pro next year. Do you guys think that Xbox's strategy is fine if it can keep up if it doesn't have a Pro model? Do you think we need a Pro model?
I think it looks bad if PlayStation has one and they don't.
Yeah.
And I'm a little worried, and we've heard him talk on the couch, Phil Spencer. There's almost been this de-emphasizing of the box, of the literal Xbox. And I get it a little bit, and maybe I'm just too gamer-brained in my ways with the consoles mattering a lot. Even as I find myself not playing on the consoles as much as I used to.
Same.
But I just can't imagine it working out well if the best PlayStation you can get is significantly better than the best Xbox you can get with no, new Xbox on the horizon or something being announced. So
do you think that they could play it off as, well, you can get a more powerful Xbox. It's called a PC.
Oh,
I don't think that'll play well.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that'll play.
It works
well
for me
with the Greg
It plays-
Millers of the world, right?
Right, exactly. You got to deal with Greg Miller, right? And that's a
Right.
God. You
We
don't wanna
all
deal
do.
with that.
That's our
across the bear. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, what does mid-gen refresh mean? I mean, the whole naming convention of Xbox Series Blank always made it seem like there was going to be a zillion of these things.
Sure.
Maybe. So maybe just in 3 years, we get the next Xbox a lot faster than we will get a PlayStation 6. Maybe the generations thing has already been all kind of mucked up. Maybe it's going to continue to get even more mucked up.
All right. Phil Spencer also said that he would love to find a solution so games aren't lost when the Xbox 360 store goes offline. They're shutting down the Xbox 360 store later this year or next summer or something like that. Most games are available elsewhere. A lot of the games are available through backward compatibility. You would still be able to buy them through your Xbox One or Xbox Series X or S. But there are about 220 games, according to an analysis by VGC, that are not going to be preserved anywhere because they're only available on Xbox Live Arcade or some similar sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, that'd be nice if we could keep those alive in one way or the other. Phil Spencer says they're aware they would like to do that. He even brought up that 220 number himself. He's like, yeah, I was reading that story. I'm aware. But I don't know how, like, it feels like his hands are cuffed a little bit here, where he can only go as far as like the legal teams at whoever owns the rights for these games will allow them to go. So it seems like many of those games probably aren't going to get preserved outside of emulation, which again, I'm mostly fine with.
I would love to see a list of those because like there were a lot of hidden gems on the Xbox Live Arcade. Like I have a lot of fondness for that.
VGC did that story, and I think they had the list of all the games that they were referencing. So if anyone in chat wants to
I'm looking at it right now.
Dan. Okay, great.
Okay, July 29th. Okay, I'm going to look for the best ones here. Oh, this is a lot. God. There was a real heyday, I'd say from like 07, for like a good 5 years.
12,
Then we started getting to
12.
like there was like the higher tier of like the limbos and the insides and stuff like that, and Castle Crashers.
I mean, it was so exciting when like a new Summer of Arcade would come out, and we'd be like, all right, 5 games I know I'm gonna fuck with, and
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is the biggest one.
That was true. Yeah,
Brothers is the biggest one I've seen so far. Scrolling through here,
Brothers, but that is available other places now. So
Duke Nukem 3D. How's anyone going to play that?
Yeah,
that's impossible.
Right.
Now.
I guess I also want to see the list of games that also aren't already on other platforms.
Fruit Ninja Connect. I think I have a physical Fruit Ninja Connect.
Yeah, a lot of Connect games.
So it's preserved forever now, right? It's all put it on a disc once.
Well, Dan looks at that.
Oh, Mark of the Ninja. I remember Mark of the Ninja.
Mark of the Ninja's also elsewhere now. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe not in its original form, but you can get the remastered version on Steam and stuff. So.
What happened to that remastered version of Braid that was supposed to come out like 3 years ago?
Yeah, it's never going to come out. He's too busy being weird online.
Darn it. Yeah, he's too busy being weird online.
Section 8 Prejudice.
I like his games.
Remember that?
He's weird.
I know. You
Soulja
love
Boy?
The Witness. I love Braid.
I love The Witness.
So yeah, Soulja Boy. Yeah, he's been too busy going off about peeing in jars or something.
I mean, a lot of these are just like Xbox Live Arcade versions of like Resident Evil and games that are Street Fighter 2. Like that's what a lot of them.
Especially vulnerable are those Connect games that you were mentioning. Those are the ones that are like, those haven't appeared anywhere else for obvious reasons. So
yeah, but like Vigilante 8 Arcade, there's other ways you can play Vigilante 8.
The truth is if you want to play those games, you have a year to buy them for your Xbox 360, and that's not I don't love that either, but that's the solution right now. You can buy those. Go get them if you want.
Those shitty South Park games. Tenderman's Revenge and Let's Go Tower Defense play. Those
They've
sucked.
never made a shitty South Park game.
I like the Tower Defense ones, I think.
The Tenderman's Revenge one was fucking terrible.
I was pretty quickly anti-tower defense because there was a time where that genre was going way too hard and it was everywhere. And I got sick of that real fast.
I'm like, I played one and I was like, this is great, and I moved on. And then Mike would be like, humph about it.
I would. I'd get so mad. That's right.
Yeah, I get it.
It was like early days of me and you working with each other. It's probably just me screaming. Then they made a Star Fox tower defense for me. You remember Star Fox Guard?
That separate disc? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that killed the genre finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of Miyamoto's pet projects, right? Was that?
Well, I think he's like, I'm going to show people why the Wii U gamepad is so good.
There
was Star Fox Zero and then Guard.
Yeah, it came with Guard. Yeah, Guard came with Zero. It was a 2.
Was Project Hammer around that time, or was that before that? Was that a Wii game?
Hammer was a Wii game.
Wii game, okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'll say this here. I think Clash Royale is probably a top 50 game of all time.
Well,
oh man, I'm glad I cried myself away from that. That was the one time I got sucked into the mobile game hole of spending money and stuff, and I had to pry myself away from that.
Which wrestler spent the most money on Clash Royale?
Was it Clash Royale or Clash of Clans?
Both, and the answer is John Cena on both.
Fuck, of course, man.
I love him so much.
Thing, going against
like
Cena,
it's like,
how are we going to beat Cena when he's literally just like spending like 6 figures on shit?
Fuck, that rules.
Are you saying you played Cena in it?
What's that?
Did you play Cena in it?
No, I was in Cody's
clan or whatever.
So no, Cena. The whole war was Cena's clan because Cena used to be in Cody's clan. He broke off, got a bunch of the people on the roster to join his thing. So that war all happened like when Cody recruited me. The war with Cena was already over. They already like waved the white flag. He spent too much money.
Wrestlers are so cool.
Pay to win.
Somewhere Undertaker is just seething because like, we used to stab each other.
No one's buying me a bottle of Jack anymore. Someone comes to John Cena. It's like, I bought you a Clash card with like credits. It's like $20.
Yeah,
hey,
not
Dwayne
a bottle
wouldn't do that
Jack.
for you though. He definitely wouldn't.
No.
Let's see. Phil Spencer. I almost said John Cena. Phil Spencer also said current gen prices for the consoles themselves aren't going to come down. He said this is due to component prices being kind of weird, like, the RAM that we use, no one else makes that anymore, so it's like it's going to be the same price. And it's like, maybe. I think the real reason is the people that they're selling consoles to these days are the people who spend a lot of money on console gaming. And so, like we've always said with Nintendo, Nintendo sells the same system to the same people over and over again with upgrades and revisions. And these other companies are probably going to do that as well. And that's going to be their main audience, is the people who are the most excited about the console. And you don't lower the price for them because you know you can keep adding one or two things and they'll pay more to get the shiny new thing. So, yeah, I believe that we've already seen this, though, right? The Switch didn't go down in prices. Even the PS4 and the Xbox One, they went down a little bit, but they went down as they got revisions, and then the revisions replaced them at that price. So this isn't too surprising to me. Were you guys expecting like, oh, eventually you'd be able to get an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 for $300?
I had that expectation, yes.
Yeah.
But man, it's not like it used to be. You got the PS1, the lowercase one. It was like, yeah, now you can get this thing for under $100.
Yeah, $99, the magic price point.
Oh, I found
awesome.
I found my PS2 Slim the other day. It was great. The one with like the fold up. Oh, it's good.
Yep,
right.
that's a great one.
I have my PS1 in the back room right over there. I got
the
the
screen
for it too. Yeah, I got the screen too.
Oh, damn it! I've been looking for the screen. It's very expensive now.
Yep. I wonder if it still works. All right. Then Todd Howard said he wants to do his job forever, like Miyamoto. He also said Indiana Jones is shaping up well. He says that team, Machine Games, has the whole killing Nazis thing down, and they're doing a really great job. That's exciting. And then he wants Elder Scrolls 6 to be the ultimate fantasy world simulator. It's going to build on the technology that they've been working on with Starfield. He also he bemoaned how early they announced that game. He's like, maybe we did announce it too early. I'm like, no, maybe about it.
You think?
Yeah, you announced that in 2018. It's 2023 now, friend.
They did. They announced it when they did because I think they were worried about announcing Starfield and everybody freaking out. Like,
Fallout 76 is the thing that we were announcing at Fallout 76 was coming out, and they're like, people are gonna be like, where is all the stuff we actually want? So we're working on that, and I think also at that time they were worried about people coming in buying them at a low price, and so they announced all these things to help make sure that they were at a higher price, and that took a few years, but then Microsoft bought them after that. So yeah. Okay, Baldur's Gate 3 will come to Xbox this year after all. Baldur's Gate 3 will be released on Xbox Series X and S this year with split screen co-op, the big thing that was the problem for the Xbox Series S, and the reason it hadn't come to the Xbox yet. It'll be on Xbox Series X, and you'll get cross-save progression between Steam and Xbox Series systems, as well as PlayStation. Series S will not feature split-screen co-op. The game was originally expected to be released in 2024, but the release date was brought forward after Larian Studios met with Xbox boss Phil Spencer in Europe during Gamescom. And then the next day, they announced that they're going to be able to pull this off. So seems like Microsoft being a little bit more lenient on what parity actually looks like between the Xbox Series X and S. But split screen co-op on one of the systems is not a reason to hold up an entire game like this, I don't think. So glad they were able to figure this out.
It never should have been. Like, it's nice they're doing this. It's a little bit like, okay, well, now that this is like a giant game, actually, and we really want it in our system, now we're definitely going to make sure we can get this working. I get it. Not everything's going to fall on your radar, but I wish this fell on the radar a little bit sooner and this got worked out.
Right, and you can tell like why it fell on the radar afterward when it became the biggest game in the world. Right. So like that's how sometimes it has to go. You're right though. I wish they would have realized it earlier. A top writer is leaving Rockstar Games. Michael Unsworth, a writer for Rockstar Games, has left the company after 16 years. Unsworth worked on many Rockstar's major releases, including Red Dead Redemption. Other high-profile departures from Rockstar Games in recent years include Dan Houser, Laszlo Jones, and Leslie Benzies. Rockstar Games' parent company, Take-Two Interactive, has forecast a share jump in sales during the next fiscal year, which is probably going to be driven by a release of GTA 6.
Every time you say Dan Houser, it sounds like you're saying Danhausen.
I always giggle to myself,
and I think my brain wants to say Danhausen, so I think it even comes out that way a little bit. But yeah, Danhausen never at Rockstar, and that's been that company's problem, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. I feel like I have a different take than a lot. Like, I feel like a lot of people when they hear like the veteran employee leaves a company, as long as they're not fired, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But when they leave, it's like, okay, well now like new people who have supposedly been working here anyways, they're gonna get their chance. This guy's gonna go do something else, something new, and like I don't see any problem with this kind of thing.
No, yeah, doesn't that series kind of need a bit of a refresh in its writing anyhow? So you hope that the young people are already taking over anyhow.
I'm under the assumption if you work at a company that long, you may have inadvertently helped train not your replacement, but other folks to help fill the void after you leave.
Right. And it's like, where, I mean, the vice president of writing was his title. We talked about this on the show.
President of writing.
Exactly. That was already a made up thing, right? That's already a thing that just you give to somebody because they've been there
Who's
so
the
long.
president of writing?
Exactly. Yeah. That's Maya Angelou, actually. This is, I think, Mike, you nailed it. This is normal. This is someone working at a place for a long time, bringing up the people underneath him that can replace him. And now he gets to go take all his experience and time and money and probably get a big investment from some outside company or go work at another company that already has that big investment and take on some new challenge where he could be the president of writing instead of just vice president of writing. So,
or he just leaves the industry altogether.
Yeah, he's going to go work in banking. Like I think that's what developers do. They work in game development and then they go to banking.
Yeah, that's the real pipeline that no one ever talks about, huh?
Yeah, it's
game journalist, games developer, banker.
Yeah, high tech finance or whatever it is, hi-fi. That's not right.
We should rob a bank.
The four of us could do it
successfully.
Yeah, the four of us totally.
I mean, I know that we could. I wonder like how long we would be able to like live without either killing each other or getting caught.
I've seen Point Break and Heat, so
I've seen Point Break like 8 times. So
I watched Heat 2 days ago. I'm inspired.
Up, doesn't it?
I kind of always have Heat on. Like, yes, I have a half finished Heat save on like whatever app it's on.
Heat
on
save?
this TV. You know, like how like the bookmark when you're watching it and you can't finish it because you're too sleepy.
Save?
Yeah,
I
your
think
memory
me,
card.
Dan,
my Heat's my memory card. I'll bring it
I
over
think
to your
me,
house.
Dan,
and
and
finish
Jeff
it.
should just walk into a bank with our Blight Club costumes on and just kind of see what happens.
Yes.
I bet we'll walk out with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then you guys will distract them while I do the actual Robin.
There
There
you go.
it is. That's
Oh,
I'm looking at my
no.
Blight Club costume right now, and I'll see how it fits tomorrow.
Oh, very exciting.
Robin.
Oh man, we're going back to work tomorrow. I'm very
Yes, we-
excited.
I'm the one working tomoray.
Oh yeah, so I'm just gonna order some sheets and be happy.
You two
Let's go.
need to figure out my game sooner rather than later, so that if I had to like get a assist, I'd rather do original hardware if I can. So if I can get that set
True.
up, I'd like to.
Okay, if anyone at PAX wants to come up to me and recommend something, I will have a sheet ready to go, and we will write down every recommendation.
Under 20 hours.
Yes, I think it's got to be like
20.
I think 12.
Is that what the rule was? What was the rule?
I think actually, we
about
said
10
6.
hours is the
we
sweet
said 6
spot.
for a while.
I'm pulling up
but-
the rules.
Okay,
20 hours, no longer than 20 on how long
No
to be.
longer
That's
than
like
20.
that's like I think those are old rules.
That was
It's
back
the
before
only
we have
document I have with
that.
the rules on them.
We might need to look through. But look, 20 hours would be doable, but 10 hours is definitely the sweeter spot. 8 to 10, 8 to 12, I guess.
Agreed. Yeah.
But if you just hand me a blank like Xbox disc, like somehow you like scrubbed off whatever it is, and you want me to just give it to Mike, I might do that.
Oh yeah, we'll just put a label over it.
Yeah,
Sticky labels
exactly.
work.
Yeah, the Care Bears game. Here it is.
I like the
BioWare is
Care Bear
laying.
Cousins. Let's go.
Yeah, sure. BioWare is laying off 50 people. BioWare is doing this as part of a restructuring effort, but really this is about EA's bad financials right now. EA Entertainment, different from EA Sports these days. Back in the day, FIFA Ultimate Team paid for the whole business, basically. FIFA Ultimate Team, Madden Ultimate Team, they would just make a ton of money, and it would all go in the same bucket. These days, EA Entertainment, which is where BioWare is, different than what's happening over there with EA Sports, and they have to be more accountable, which is actually exactly how Andrew Wilson, CEO of EA, framed it when they talked about splitting up these two entities into these like two separate businesses under EA. He's like, oh yeah, and these leaders will have more accountability, and that's going to be great for them. Well, it was great for them in that they had to cut 50 jobs from BioWare because the other thing at EA Entertainment that was paying for all the bills, Apex Legends, is on the decline. Officially, internally at EA, they recognize it is on the decline. That's not paying for everything anymore. So BioWare, a studio that has spent a lot of money over the last 4 or 5 years, making games that are coming out maybe next year, Dragon Age Dreadwolf and the Mass Effect, who knows? That's a studio that's like, okay, well, the accountability is coming right now before you can even put out Dreadwolf, and they're paying the price. They laid off a lot of people who were senior staff, people who had been at BioWare for a long time. I think the most galling example of this is in the month where Baldur's Gate 3 came out and crushed the world, the writer of the original Baldur's Gate was laid off from BioWare. And there's just something kind of rough about that, where it's like you couldn't figure out you couldn't figure out the thing that you made popular originally, or you were one of the progenitors of, and now here you are paying the price, and it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it just all goes back to how incredibly poorly thought out Anthem was in every direction, and even some stuff before that with Andromeda. Right, this is BioWare was this amazing team that was on top of the world, kind of with Mass Effect 2. And I don't know if there's like the wrong lesson taken for Mass Effect 2, where it seems like everybody really liked that game because of the characterization and the story, and so much of it was working so well. And the big takeaway was, well, we made this one simpler than the last one, and suddenly people like it more. So that kind of was like the trend they were doing for a while. And then there was just the whole EA initiative of everything's a multiplayer game.
Right.
Even the new Dragon Age was going to be a multiplayer game.
Yes,
So
it was.
people had to kind of fight for that to not happen. But yeah, now they're in this rough position where you got to get this Dragon Age game across the finish line. And surprise, here's a Baldur's Gate 3 that ended up hitting. Now everyone's expectations for what a good one of these is has maybe changed. It's going to be rough, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on this Dragon Age game.
Yeah. People like looking ahead to Dragon Age. I've said before, it could have come. It was aiming to come out at the end of this year. It was actually going to come out in September. That was the original internal release date. They never talked about any of this publicly, so keep that in mind. But internally, they were looking at September of this year, and that was a while ago. Earlier this year, it's like, no, clearly that's not going to happen. We're going to go to March of 2024. Now they are saying clearly that's not going to happen. It is summer 2024 at the earliest. And to help with this, they are taking people off the Mass Effect team to work on Dragon Age Dreadwolf and get it out the door. That's pushing back Mass Effect even further than whenever that was going to come out. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is normal game dev problems, but a lot of it also is just BioWare's been a little bit lost. And now they're within a publisher that still hasn't found its footing. And really, when you're like looking at the overall EA picture, we talk about Apex Legends being on the decline, and Madden Ultimate Team and FIFA Ultimate being over there. But really, it's about Battlefield. Battlefield was supposed to be this thing that was like their Call of Duty that was going to make money every year for them and just in perpetuity. And that missed so hard that all of that fell on Apex Legends. And now Apex Legends kind of isn't even living up to its own expectations, let alone the expectations of both it and Battlefield. So
there's
a weird position.
There's also a lot of boneheaded quotes that came out of this story, as well as trying to frame the layoffs as a mildly positive thing and making the remaining employees making sure that agile and more focused.
Yep.
God, just
I really always hated that kind of corporate talk, and I thought we were past it, where it's like, that's transparent. Everyone knows what you're doing. Is like you're saving yourself money, and then telling us that like that the shit is chocolate cake, and it's like, okay, please don't do that anymore. Just be forthright. And I thought a lot of companies had gotten there, and to hear EA just be like, no, this is about agility.
And then the other bit about giving studio heads more ownership of stuff, it's just like you were just continuing to displace blame. Like, you're right, Grub. I thought we were in a more transparent age with what's happening with studios.
You know what happens is like these CEOs, they read a different book every couple of weeks, and it's like, well, now this is the management style that works, and it's okay, get out of here with that.
Go read Maya Angelou.
Yeah, go read The President of Writing for once.
Go read Animorphs, damn it.
I did read
all the
first
books
book
are available online at the author's website.
Wow.
For free.
Someone keeps saying that Dragon Age is getting delayed internally at BioWare. We just kind of talked about this, but that's just to reiterate.
We're all looking for the guy who's doing this.
Yeah, we talked about this on Game S Mornings earlier this week. We've covered most of the sides of this, so I guess I'll just ask: Are we looking forward to Dragon Age Dreadwolf? Like, is there? Yeah, it's. I know that. Listen, I know the Dragon Age fans out there definitely are. They want to get back with those characters. But I was never really a Dragon Age guy. I liked Origins a little bit, but then all the other ones didn't really hit with me.
Yeah, I liked Origins a good bit because that really did. That was the one that almost felt more like, you could see the lineage from some of those older C RPGs, but just kind of made a lot more console friendly. Just the whole Origin thing was also fun there, right? You had a different first act just depending on your character. The Dragon Age 2 was obviously like clearly. Like, hey, how can we make one of these a lot faster and cheaper? Inquisition was a slight compromise. Some people really like Inquisition. It's a game I played through once and just never really thought about much again. So I am still worried about Dreadwolf being Inquisition 2. I mean, like, the story definitely is like the Dreadwolf is this guy from Inquisition. So You know, I don't want it to be that setup again, though, where you have like your one base camp and you kind of go out to some of these larger open zones like Sonic Frontiers, and you have a lot of MMO cooldown abilities, basically. I need to be sold on Dragon Age, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yep, and we probably won't get that hard pitch until sometime deep into next year. A quarter into next year.
Do you think they're going to look at the success of Baldur's Gate 3 and like go further back to the drawing board now, though?
I mean, I feel
No
like
time.
I feel like developers can't look around like that. You can look around for your next game to be inspired, but if you are putting out a game next year, I think it's the best thing you could do is not even look at Baldur's Gate 3. You can't, because what can you do?
Well, devs don't want to do that, right? They don't want to look around at the current landscape. But people at the
publishers
top,
looking, sure.
publishers,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, but they were like, what footing did they have to stand on? Where it's like, they definitely would not have been like, give me Baldur's Gate 3, that's where the money's at. Give me something like that. They would have been like, no, that's scary. Well, don't make games like that. You're going to scare away the people with the money. And it's like, okay, yeah. So we'll see. The PSP lives. It's not the PlayStation Portable, though. It's the PlayStation Portal, and it's a remote play handheld device, and I hate saying its name. It costs $200, has an 8-inch LCD screen with 1080p resolution and 60 frames per second. It can only stream games from the PS5 console, mostly within your own household over Wi-Fi, but it is the remote play app for Android, so you can pretty much stream it anywhere if you have the connection strong enough, but they are not promoting it that way. I am going to get one.
I will not. So you have fun.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can't help myself.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of you two then.
Sure.
I'm like, I kind of want this.
How many PS Portals are you getting, Dan?
Curious. Every system I tend to get at launch just for
I think calling this a system would be generous.
every video game thing I like to have. So I wouldn't mind having one.
The
I don't know if I'll ever use it.
Right. The big missing feature that seems like it would make a lot of sense is streaming stuff from the cloud through the PlayStation Network. Nope, doesn't support that. Just doesn't work. They're not going to do that. It's weird. They don't really say why. But again, it probably comes down to like, oh, well, then you can play that outside the house. And they're like, maybe this thing might not have strong enough connection. But then I'm like, you do it on the phone, and this is just no different. So I don't get it. Night Dive is bringing back Star Wars Dark Forces and Turok 3. Night Dive Studios is remastering both games. They announced this as part of their stuff over at Gamescom or whatever they were doing their thing. Both look fantastic. This is the latest in a series of first-person shooters from the classic era that they are bringing back. They kind of like are two different tracks where it's like Turok 3 was this the successor to these first-person shooters on the N64, and then was influenced by Half-Life. And Star Wars Dark Forces is from that Doom clone era. But Night Dive is good with any of these things. They always sort of figure it out. So I'm excited to replay both of these games. This is a fun thing. Switch surpasses Wii sales. The Nintendo Switch has overtaken the Wii in lifetime sales in the United States. The Switch is now less than 1 million units behind the Xbox 360's lifetime sales in the US, and less than 5 million behind those of the PS2. The Switch had already overtaken the Wii in terms of global sales back in February 2022. The Switch shipped 3.91 million units during the 3-month period between April and June 2023. Nintendo forecasts it will sell 15 million consoles during that time. This comes from these numbers come from Circana, used to be NPD. They also mentioned that the PS5 is about 5% ahead of the PS4 when you align their launches. Ooh. And the Xbox Series S and X are 10% behind the Xbox One, but ahead of the Xbox 360.
That's crazy. The Xbox One did better than the 360?
Did significantly better than the 360, really? At least through this point of the generation. As you get later,
such bad press going into the launch. What the fuck?
Yep, but as you get later in the generation, I think the 360 continues to have a lot of momentum, and then the Xbox One tails off there, and that's why the Switch, for example, is only behind the 360 and the PS2 in the United States.
How many are we at with Switch lifetime?
In the United States, I think we're around 50 million. Worldwide, it's at like what 130 million, something like that.
Christ.
Yes.
Isn't it wild to be just like living through this? Like the Nintendo just has another banger of a console. It's like,
yep. I mean, I think it's just their best console ever.
It's
Switch is their best console.
Hard to argue. Like, yeah. People always point to the Super Nintendo, and I feel like the highs were so high there with Mario World, Link to the Past, and Final Fantasy and stuff. But like, it didn't have the breadth of great games that the Switch has.
There's also insane highs here.
Yeah, insane highs with the Switch.
It's not a Mario game better than
Mario
Odyssey.
Fucking yeah.
Nothing tops
Pikmin
Mario
4.
Odyssey. Pikmin 4. That's Pikmin.
glad we could represent Pikmin 4 here.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Luigi's Mansion 3. That's
Yeah.
right. At which Addie
Luigi.
Arms?
Sure.
Give me legs, damn it.
I'll give you Exciteback 64, which is coming to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack in 2 days, coming on Thursday. It's the N64 game that's joining the expansion pack this month. They have like 2 more that have been announced that haven't come out yet. One of them is 1080. Is the other one Mario Party 3?
Is 3 on there yet?
3's not on there yet. 1 and 2 are.
So it must be Mario Party 3 then.
It's just
so
those 2 now.
Yeah.
So I guess those will hit by the end of this year, and then maybe I don't know. Maybe they at this Nintendo Direct with the Super Mario Brothers Wonder, they'll also say, and here's some other N64 games coming. Probably not.
Maybe not, but there's some. We don't have the first Mario Land on Game Boy. And
oh yeah, I'm talking about the N64 ones, but yes, there's and like Golden Sun hasn't come, and they've announced that as well. There's a handful of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games that they've talked about. All right, last couple stories here. Ben Affleck reveals his Valorant main. You guys want to guess?
I don't know anyone in Valorant.
Me neither. Mike, you got a guess?
Some twink.
You got it right, I think. KO and Raze, he says he's promiscuous. He goes back and forth between the characters. So yeah, some twink, wonderful. And then finally, the impossible pivot from that. 15-year-old studio is shutting down. Me, the developer of Shadow Tactics Blade and Shogun, has announced that it will be shutting down after releasing its final game, Shadow Gambit: The Cursed Crew. The studio cited increased financial pressures and the difficulty of maintaining a healthy work-life balance as reasons for the closure. Me's employees will be supported during the transition, and Shadow Gambit will still receive post-launch support. That's it's weird, right? We're in this era where it's like indie games and smaller games and games out of nowhere can come out and just blow up and become the biggest things in the world. And then other studios like are putting out their games and like, hey, and we're closing down. We can't. This is not sustainable.
Yeah. I haven't played that newer game, but Desperados 3 was really good, actually.
And well liked, yes.
It seemed like everyone who played it liked it a lot, but just wasn't able to kind of reach that wider audience, it feels like, and that's a bit of a shame. I kind of hope more people can go back and find that. But yeah, this is rough. Because they made, again, if Desperados 3 is anything to go by, they make really high-quality games that, they don't feel like games from small teams. They feel very AAA in what they're doing, that kind of top-down tactics thing.
And they've been doing it for 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
bummer.
tough. All right, that does it for the news. So I'm handing this show back over to Jan Ochoa.
Wow, this show has been full of fun surprises, and we're just gonna pet it, lower our blood pressure just a little bit, take a quick break, and we'll be back with some emails and shoutouts right after this break.
sunset Lambo now. Hey, what did I say? Everyone on earth gets pedaled and played. Just hold me softly, darling, darling. Just hold me softly, darling, darling. Ringy ding dingy ding ding. Executives on my cell phone making me sing. King of American Ding. Signing on the dotted line is original sin. Capitol Hill's on fire. Multi-million deals are my true desire. But no one ever speaks about this. While those on the Instagram getting it lickety split. Hey, what did I say? Heaven and hell are one and the same. Just hold me softly, darling, darling. Just hold me softly, darling, darling. Just hold me softly, darling, darling. Just hold me softly, darling. Baby, this world gets hard. Steal your Malibu mansion, wreck your car. Done with material life. Now I'm hanging out with the guru, smoking big pipes. Hey, what can I say? All that remains is
These are the emails for the show. Bombcast@giantbomb.com.
Yeah.
Send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com as the theme suggests. That's right. It's pre-recorded. I don't sing along every time that we play the theme music.
It's true.
Send a wide variety of emails, whatever you want to talk about, to bombcast@giantbomb.com. We actually have quite a few emails this week. So I appreciate everyone that took the time to write in. First question comes from Eric from Glendale. Hey, Bomb Crew. Why is Mario the only character who gets to play golf, soccer, baseball, and race karts? Other franchises and characters should get in on this kind of stuff more. What character or franchise do you think should get a series of sports games? Man.
Echo the Dolphin.
Metal Gear Solid.
I'd love a Dragon Ball Z kart. Thanks, Eric from Glendale.
Mortal Kombat did it. I mean, they at least had like cards
Yeah.
and stuff like that as side modes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Metal Gear.
Yeah, WWE did a great kart racer. They should do one with the tennis and soccer. I would play
They
a
do a kart
WWE
racer?
soccer game.
Crush Hour.
Combat
Crush
vehicle
Hour?
game. That's
Was
not
it-
a car
Oh,
racer,
that's a car combat. That's different.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's a
okay,
Twisted
car
Metal,
combat.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
idiot.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the Undertaker has the
embarrassing.
twisty rockets.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, why
No
don't...
Echo.
Sure, Echo the Dolphin. Is it?
Yeah, he should have a little tennis racket. It'd be cute.
Are there more dolphins other than Echo in that game? I never played.
Oh, yeah. No, there's Echo Jr. He had a little orca friend, and there's others.
Bubsy.
Oh, yeah, Bubsy.
Well, Sega did do like the Sonic. They do like Sonic and Sega All Stars games, and they actually like the racing games were very good. They did a tennis game that was supposed to be very good. I don't think I played much of it myself, but I kind of wish they just kept doing that. They should have done a golf game also.
Sorry, I just
Resident
started-
Evil.
Resident Evil? Yeah. Well, they kind of have
Tyrant
spin-off
playing
games.
golf.
I think there should be a Resident Evil Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Yes.
But oh yeah,
Sure.
I want to lotion up Leon.
Yeah.
I mean, don't
What's
we
that-
all? Come on,
What's
look
the
at that
villain's
head of hair.
name? What's the guy? Wesker. Put
Wesker?
Wesker in the diamond
Wesker.
bikini. Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice
Definitely.
mankini. Put him in the Borat one. You know,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
it's a good
Was
look.
he Chris
Nemesis.
punching boulders in like one of those like?
But the boulders
Really-
are butts.
No, but like the bulge has to be very prominent.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that went without saying, but fair enough.
I'm glad we got there with the joke. All right. Ben from Iowa writes in, no wonder Jan is addicted to coffee. He spends the energy coffee gives just making a cup. Do any other giant bombers spend unnecessary energy on something they enjoy? Thanks, Ben from Iowa.
I try to avoid spending energy on most things, even if I do love it. Like that's my big like the path of
us
least
Ohioans
resistance.
are pretty lazy.
Yeah, let's be real. We're lazy.
Like spending a lot of extra energy.
If I have to do a lot of energy, I don't love it. Like I just stop loving it. So yeah.
Okay.
I've been going to the same Subway for lunch almost every day for a long time now. Because guess what's the closest restaurant to my home?
Is it Subway?
It is Subway.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we did it.
Okay. All right.
I guess barbecuing is a good one, Winchip. Yeah, like I do have like the whole pellet grill, but even the pellet grill makes it so easy to do barbecue. But like that is one thing where like I'll have big barbecue days where I'm going to like, okay, I'm going to season this now, then let it set for a while, or maybe even brine it, and that's gonna take overnight. And then when I wake up, I'm gonna do this thing for 2 hours of prep, and so that's like a thing. I will spend 2 days of careful planning and spending a lot of energy for differences I may not even pick up on.
Just treat yourself, boys. Just take your time. Just take your time.
Last time I rendered out some beef tallow for some of the trimmings and like put that in my wrap even because I saw a person on YouTube do that. So I was like, I'll do that. And did it do anything? I don't know, but it was kind of fun to do.
Cooking other stuff in the fat of other animals is fucked up, but so delicious.
Yeah, I don't want to scare Dan. I know that he was having trouble with his grilled cheese sandwiches or whatever. Apparently requires 6 pans for you.
I stay in my lane with that stuff. I know what I don't know, and I'm gonna not fuck around with advanced stuff like grilled cheese.
What's simple to you? What is the easy stuff? Easy bag.
I heat up a box of food arrived today, and I heat up 2 of them a day.
Oh, your factors.
Yes.
Okay. That is even easier than a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
All right, moving on.
You can tell, Shane, you've been so conditioned not to engage. You're like, no, I can't even.
You were talking about wanting to do a cooking show with Dan. Do you think you could really survive that?
Yeah, totally.
Bills on.
Yeah, I feel like I am low-key a Dan whisperer. I know how to get Dan to get going.
I would do it. Do it. I got a document camera right here. I can put it above an oven. We're good to go.
There we go. That's all you need to cook, a document camera.
Above an oven. Stove is the top part. Okay, sorry.
Well, I mean, it still works for me.
I get ovens and stoves mixed up a lot.
Okay. All right. Next thing.
They're in the same unit. It's the same device.
You're right.
Yeah, I use the word interchangeably every once in a while.
And you know what?
It's wrong.
The word stovetop makes it a little bit more confusing as well. I get that. Okay.
Yeah, where could this possibly go? Not the top of the stove.
When you go to Best Buy and you buy that, are you buying an oven or are you buying a stove?
Yes.
I haven't bought a stove in a while.
I don't think I've ever been in a position to be a stove, so I can't
think that
answer
would just
this.
come with the places I move into. I've never bought an oven.
So it's the same thing. It comes in the same device. A stove is an oven.
Well, I mean, but then you get into like the units where it's like, all right, we got 2 ovens over here on top of each other.
Is everything in a Swiss Army knife a knife, Dan?
No, there's like scissors and screwdrivers and stuff in there.
Oh my!
So one unit can contain multitudes.
Well, it seems to me like the oven's the main event there, and like that's why I would be more comfortable using an oven. Stoves are freaky. Ovens are pretty simple.
Do you have a gas
electric stove? Yeah, get electric.
I don't know.
It's not scary. What is there fire?
I don't know. I've never used it. I never used the one in the old house. I have no idea.
Okay, I was about to say you just moved in, but now I'm okay.
No, I have no idea. I can't at any point in my life. I can't tell you what type of stove I had.
All right, that's.
Have you looked at it ever?
Not
Or
really.
just like when you walk past, you're like avert your gaze so it doesn't like think you
I
wanna
couldn't
engage with it.
point it out in a police lineup right now.
Dan, this isn't the first time you've used that analogy for picking something out. How
It's my favorite
often?
analogy of like it's right in front of you. You're looking at like 5 of them, and I don't know which one it is.
It's like
I love
how
that
there's
analogy.
often-
several men and then a stove, and you're like, I just can't help you here. I'm sorry.
I don't know,
It's just
officer.
the usual suspects poster, but with a bunch of ovens. Yeah.
And folks, I need you to write in if you have ever been to a police lineup on either side. I just need to know. I just need to know how
I've
often
been
that
arrested
happens.
a few times. I've never been in a police lineup. I wish I would have been. That would have been a fun story.
We can
What did
get
I
into
get
You know, I
shenanigans?
had a fire stove in Minnesota because I remember that story I told about getting too drunk with Mark Henry and then buying the fake weed from Sex World, and I was trying to light it by putting it down into the flame. So I know there was a literal flame.
fire stove, Dan.
Yes, with the literal physical flames.
Yeah. So not gas instead of
Yeah.
electric. Where do they get the other people for the lineup, the police lineup?
They're the actors from Disney World.
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense. They need other work.
They're all just
sometimes, yeah.
skippers on the Jungle Cruise.
Like
Exactly. yeah.
$100 or something, you think?
I think I'd be. Come on, guys, back me up. I'd be pretty good at that, right? I could be. A good
Would you
jungle
try to
Being a-
seem
being a
like
guy in a lineup?
like you're a bad guy? And so it's like, oh, it'd be funny if they like, aha, I got you. I'm the good guy.
You get paid extra if you fool
No,
the
no, no,
person.
no, not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
police
You mean
lineup.
about being a skipper, right? Yeah.
I mean being a skipper. Yeah, I'd be
No,
good
you
at
would
being a
suck
skipper.
at that. Let's go back to you being in a police lineup.
Wow.
Mike, I think you do great. All right, next email.
Do you
Thanks,
have any idea
Chad.
what they're talking about? I don't know what they're talking about.
Yo,
I have no idea what a
The
skipper
skipper is
is.
one of the hardest jobs, but what I think might be one of the funnest jobs at Disney World and Disneyland.
You just drive a
What?
boat?
No,
So-
you have to
so-
quip. You have to crack wise
Yeah,
all the
you
time.
have to tell jokes.
Oh, Mike, you'd
the
be very
whole
good at
time.
that. Yeah.
Are you in a
Yeah.
costume?
Yes.
You're in a skipper
Oh, so it's the
costume,
mascot
yeah.
people. Okay.
You're
Yeah, yeah.
no. You're wearing what The Rock wears in Jungle Cruise.
I
Right.
don't know what that is.
Okay.
You're like a
It's-
skipper.
it's
You look like a
clothes.
boat person.
Yeah, you look like a boatman.
Yeah,
Okay.
a good old boatman. Yeah.
This is a job?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about piloting the boat. You just have to.
Dan, we're not allowed to ask that question with that
I
tone.
don't know why I thought that question was funny. Is this
We're not
a
allowed.
job?
Dan, tomorrow you're going to be wearing an outfit and playing a bad Sonic game, and
Well, yeah, I'm working. I'm earning a living here, Grub.
you're
Got my 9 to
contributing
5.
to the economy. The GDP is going to grow.
Incredible. But I just look at some point in my life, like once I'm like even more over than I am now. Hard to believe, I know. Like I'm gonna have the prestige to like make them let me like as a gimmick be a Jungle Cruise skipper for a day.
We
It's gonna
can
be
do
fantastic.
that probably. We just need to pass enough Diet Cokes to the right guy.
See, yeah, this is the only difference between you. Oh, there's a lot of differences, but this is the main difference. Dan would just start doing this, and you're like, no, I'm going to wait till the time is right. No, you just got to do it. just
No,
gotta
you
do
know
it,
what?
and it will
Do the
happen.
That's one of the lessons I've inadvertently learned from the Book of Riker. Just do it.
Yes,
Just do
just
it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
you
the
can do
thing. Stop
anything
thinking and do it.
if you don't know any of the reasons why you can't do it. Is
All right,
what I
Jeff.
always say about Dan, and that's
when
true.
Next time we're in a Disney park, we're going to Jungle Cruise. You just tackle the current skipper off.
See, but the thing
and I'll
is,
just
Dan
take
doesn't.
over.
Dan doesn't physically hurt anyone
Yeah,
with the
just resort
doing
to
it.
violence.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
no.
he
Well,
just
that's why
resorts to
Jeff
doing
has
it.
to do it. I know that's
You
why
got to turn your
Jeff's
brain
doing
off and
the-
do the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
the guy off of the.
I taught myself that lesson in like high school. I remember I wanted to skip out of math class so bad because I think like WrestleMania 2000 had just come out and I wanted to skip. And it was like, I think I knew it was coming in at a certain time. And I was like, I got to leave during math class. And I was so up in my head. I was just like, oh God, he's going to see me. There's no way to do this. He's in the middle of doing a lecture. He's up by the board. I just have to walk in front of him and not tell him why. And I was so up in my head. And I just told myself, Dan, shut the fuck up. Your legs work. Just walk out of the class. And I just got up and I walked out and I walked into my car and I drove and I bought a video game.
The body
and it
just
worked.
listens to you. Like whenever I like a pain these days, I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand, body. I'm in a little bit of pain. Thanks for telling me. I don't need to hear that anymore. And like, it definitely like dampens the pain. Like the body, like will like, oh, okay, all right. I'm listening to you. It's weird.
What exactly do you think just doing it means in this situation? Like, I have to contact Disney.
Yeah. Start asking people. Yeah.
Yeah, send an
So
email.
ask
Make
me,
it.
John?
Find a contact. Find
Yeah,
a, you know,
just
yeah,
be
right,
like,
Do
absolutely.
you want? But ask ask anybody.
Can I
Like,
be a guest
Right.
skipper, like for like a
We-
specific cruise?
Yeah, we need to make content, and I have to be a skipper in order for this to work.
You call them, you explain, you're on a very big bike. This is like when I wanted to do the roller coaster thing at Six Flags. I literally had the idea, then I called Six Flags and I was like, hey, I work for a website. Oh, I think I said I work for CBS. That was a good thing to pull, which was true. And you just got to call them. Do it.
All right. Well, look, this is my before I'm 40 or maybe around their goal is I'll be a skipper on the Jungle Cruise.
I just
see it.
learned that an acquaintance of mine worked on the Star Wars cruise thing or whatever.
Oh, that hotel they're closing.
the
yeah.
hotel they're closing.
God, I don't want to talk about it. I want to go to it so bad.
They could have gotten
tried
us in.
that. I
They
contacted
could have.
them.
They
We
could
did
have gotten
try.
us in. It could have been
They coulda got
another
us-
one.
It's still open.
Yeah,
for
but
like another couple
she
weeks.
said they're
Now.
all booked up though, so like they can't
Yeah.
even.
Yeah, but
Squeeze
I
us
will
in for
kill someone
poops.
for that. Like, I'll
On
do
my
that.
there's going to be a special Star Wars lounge on my Disney cruise I'm doing in November. I'll send you pics, Jeff.
Mike, tell me what that's like because I've been interested in going on that cruise.
I've never done one. This is going to be my first one, believe it or not. So yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Hey, no matter what, Mike, even if you hate it, you got to come back and just like talk how good it is in front of Bacalar.
Well, I heard his anti-cruise rant.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if I didn't like it.
I
One of
will
the
be
things
shocked too. Yes.
One of the things I'm doing with my father is there's a barber shop, but like also a cocktail bar. So they'll like make you an old fashioned to drink while they're cutting your hair and stuff. I don't know why. That is like
That sounds very
really
pleasant.
appealing to like some kind of weird masculine energy in me that doesn't usually come out all the time. But
Hey.
man, right now it's like, yeah.
That's just what alpha males do, Mike. So I'm not surprised to
Yeah.
find you there.
That's actually what I'd do. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
You
nice.
should do the Jericho cruise.
God.
If they pay for us to come, I would 100% would do
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy,
Yeah,
that
we
would
could-
be a
I don't-
type of fan.
Look, I'll say this about
Sure.
the Disney people. I would a zillion times rather be on a cruise of all the Disney people than with like a gamer cruise or a wrestling fan cruise.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
Ooh, that's rough.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Well, the Disney people, when I say Disney people, it's not like it's actually a bunch of Disney fanboys.
It's
It's a lot of
families.
just families on vacation. And
Right.
then like,
Gamer cruise, Disney cruise, or wrestling cruise.
Listen,
Holy
no, we can agree
shit.
all of them are above the pinball cruise, right? That's
Oh,
just true.
yeah.
Pinball
Yeah, let's
cruise.
get
The
pinball on
pinball
a boat
cruise-
sounds great.
The boat is constantly tilting and it's just for
Yeah.
gimmicks. And it's like, oh, look, it's like the pinball.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if the
Ah,
gamer
tilt.
cruise was set up in a way to take advantage of all these people together, like there's tournaments, there's like a bunch of stations, like
Yeah.
when you go to a game convention and there's a bunch of just like retro things set up, and here's the CRTs with Smash Brothers, here's where you can play Mario Party on a big screen and stuff like that. Like that could be kind of fun because you'd actually have stuff to do.
the
Wrestling and
Giant Bomb
Disney,
gamer cruise.
Giant Bomb Cruise.
Diversify? Come on, guys. You guys got to be thinking about these things.
That's a terrible idea, Mike. We would never do anything like that.
Yeah,
God, can you imagine if we had to run a bed? Like, we actually had to run the operations of like, all right, who's in charge of breakfast today, guys?
By the way,
Dan.
maybe my favorite episode of Columbo is the one when he goes on a cruise. That's a very fun.
The
Did
Love
did
Boat
he ever do a
crossover.
crossover with a love boat?
Sadly, no.
Damn.
I keep threatening. I got to do it. I got to become a big Love Boat person someday.
Yeah. You're the most Love Boat person for a person who's never seen Love Boat.
Yes, I think
Wait,
that's
you've
true.
never
Yeah.
seen Love Boat?
No,
Why do you
no,
talk about it?
Surprising?
I talk about it constantly. I'm thinking about it all the time. I've never seen a second of it. I don't really know what it is, what exactly is going on this boat. I don't know. Are people falling in love? Is that like the point of the boat, or is
Do
that
the
just kind of
boats fuck?
accidentally
Yeah, there's
happened?
no- who knows?
Oh, has there been a...
So there's a lot of weird Mike things. This is especially weird even for Mike.
I was going to say it's not
Oh.
weird because I can kind of see it.
To be
Yeah.
obsessed with and constantly referencing a thing you don't know anything about?
Yeah, that's a Mike thing.
Yeah,
That's
me.
so
Yeah.
weird.
I'm very curious about the Love Boat. I just haven't gotten there yet, but I
That's
told
like
you
if I never shut up about Bonanza. Like,
Why
why
can't-
would I
Well,
do
you
that?
don't shut up about Bonanza. That's the
kept
only
having
thing we can get you to
dreams.
not talk about on any stuff.
I kept having dreams about the Love Boat, and I talked about. I'm like, I guess I should just watch the Love Boat and like, see if all these Love Boat dreams mean anything.
Mike Mabodi. Okay.
Mike,
No.
Mabodi, Mike, Mabodi.
All right. The
Wonderful.
email I've been trying to
Floaty.
read for a good 10 minutes now comes from Mike. What's good,
Mabodi?
bombshells? I had an epiphany about this, and I need to inflict/share it with someone. In Spanish, the letters X and J are pronounced like an H. So Texas is Tejas, etc. With that knowledge, Xavier is Javier, meaning that Professor Hay and the Hexmen. Thank you. I'm sorry. Lightning round. Jeff, how was the vacation? He's not here. Grub, I miss your hair. Jan, don't cut your hair. Dan, internet check.
It seems fine.
Grub, 24 check.
Yeah, I finished the second season. I talked about the neck snapping, which is one of the most important things that's ever happened to me. I will start season 3 here probably after I get back from PAX because there's too many games to play, and I'm just no time.
He's currently addicted to heroin in between, so just so you know.
Grub
Yes,
is currently addicted to heroin, or
No, Jack Bauer.
Who could say? Listen, I want to live that Jack Bauer life, so I'll do what it takes.
Bailey Bear check. I don't think Bailey has gone to the bear yet. Hi, Mike.
I don't think she's fucked the bear. No.
Tam
Right.
Street Fighter check.
Wait.
Lucy, always enjoy when you're on the program.
Get back
I'm
in your
out.
hole, Mike.
I'm out. Get back in the Minotti slot. Mike from
Really? I'm
Tejas.
the main character? What's going on here?
Sent from my iPhone. God, can we just like Truman Project Mike one day?
I think
Truman
we kind
Show
of
you?
already
You
are.
mean Truman Show me? Man, I wouldn't be shocked if I found out I've been Truman Showed my whole life.
Yeah.
It would actually make a lot of sense.
Guys, come on.
I just keep
Okay,
going
sorry.
to Disney
No,
World's the
Mike,
only
you're
place
not.
I go
This
to.
is the real world, Mike.
Is that why all of the events are in California that I have
You just
to
get
go
on the
to?
plane and the set slowly rotates to
Oh,
bring Disney
yeah.
World there. Yeah.
They've been
Fake
working like
sun goes up.
they're working like crazy on this pack set right now, really working overtime.
Ed Harris is really sweating watching this podcast right now.
That's right. Sorry, Ed.
Bob Iger's been sweating. It's like, oh God, he's figuring it out. I'm trying to make the thing he loves.
Oh, and they're terrified about I love boat thing because they're in the boats because they think I'm gonna go out
Because
in
the ocean
and
doesn't
come across
exist
the wall.
anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't get too curious, Mike.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna break my Truman Show bubble. Gotta be careful.
I want the thought to cross Mike's mind if he ever does get to be a skipper for a day or for a shift. And like, am I getting Trumitched? Oh,
Like this isn't normal people don't get to be skippers for no reason. Why do I? That doesn't make any
maybe I
sense.
am hashtag blessed. Bacalar next email comes from Alex in Bendigo, Australia. Bacalar going on one of his famed curmudgeon dumps is the first time I've ever heard of seasons not starting on the first of the month as they do down here in Australia. What's something small and inconsequential you found out that still left you aghast?
Let's fucking go.
Like, let Jeff. Oh no, I want Jeff to talk about seasons.
Yeah, let's
more
fucking
first.
go. Listen, I get it. All right. You were like, oh, I'm going to put my coat on because it's November 1st, and that's what the weatherman says or whatever. But, like, the seasons happen because of where the Earth is aligned and how it goes around the sun. And, like, that's just always the same. Like, that has nothing to do with, like, oh, it's the first of the month. It's like, it happens when it happens, and that's when the season begins. And it's that simple. But this is the kind of thing where I'm like, I get like a simple thing where I get worked up on. I have a couple of these. My other is
The cartridges.
Yes, cards and cartridges. Like the Switch doesn't use cartridges; it uses cards.
People that think Monday's the first day of the week.
People think Monday.
I
Yes,
hate
very
that
good
shit.
one.
Insane.
Very
You
good
really
one.
think that?
Yes.
Objectively
Yeah.
wrong. A lot of people are like, "Oh,
Psychopaths.
Monday's the first day of the week.
No,
Sunday
it's
is the
not.
last day of the week." It's like, no, it's fucking not.
It's a
Look at
sandwich.
a calendar.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones, but I mean, yeah, that man.
I
those
used to get
ones right
really
there
mad
really
at
get me.
people that thought Anastasia was a Disney movie, and then finally
Sure.
Disney bought Fox, and now it kind of is.
I'm sorry, Mike, that you can't hold on to that anger that we
That
all
Russian-
I
need.
can't.
That Russian
hard.
princess is now a Disney princess.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh God, there was something I got curmudgeon-y about recently. Oh, I get really weird about microplastics. That
Yeah?
like at home, I insist with my partners like, we have to throw away all of our plastic Tupperware. We can't heat this up. It's gonna kill us slowly. We gotta glass everything.
Yeah, I'll definitely like see a TikTok or read an article based on like some research, and then I'll get weird about like plastics or metals for a couple of weeks. Yeah, that happens.
Oh yeah, I'll get also very curmudgeon-y about like when I don't know how this is everywhere else, but like at least in California, there's like a compost trash can, recycling trash can, trash can, and like I will get so upset with someone just hemming and hawing of like, where do I throw this away? That multiple
That freaked me out
times
for a few years.
I've taken someone's trash and thrown it away
Hell
for
yeah.
them because I'm like, you're stalling up everything. Just know, please, just know
Oh,
this.
The stalling up. Okay, the Coke Zero machines taking over the normal things because people will sit at the fucking Coke Zero machine because there's only one of them because they take
Oh, you
up
mean
so
the
much space.
You mean the
The
freestyle
freestyle.
machine?
Freestyle, thank you. Freestyle
yeah, yeah.
machines, yes. And
Yeah.
then they'll be like, well, I have all the options in the world. I better do some artistry with my drink here. Go to hell and get your Diet Coke we all know you're going to get. Oh, you're going to put a little cherry in there. Fuck off. Get your drink. I'm behind you. I want my drink too. God,
I think we've
suck.
realized that the freestyle machines were a mistake because they break
They
down
are.
all
No,
the time.
I'm pro.
Yeah.
I'm pro.
No,
No.
they're good in the drive-through when you order a drink and you don't know that you have all those options. But when you have all those options, it's not suddenly going to be so much better that you have the options. You're still going to get the thing you like.
But they also have so many options of like just zero, like a mellow yellow zero and Sprite zero and Dr. Pepper zero. And like, usually you have like Diet Coke is the option and there's not a lot of other diet ones.
Listen,
So, like,
I don't blame you for that. Yes, but if I have to wait behind someone for 5 minutes while they're deciding like some masterpiece that they're going to make, that's very frustrating.
Man,
I got
no.
really mad when they changed the label for Coke Zero. It used to be that nice.
Well, they
black
changed
can.
everything though about Coke.
Zero.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
with Mike when that happened. I told him that they were getting rid of Coke Zero, and he was like devastated because it's his favorite thing.
It is. I've been trying to drink less. Yeah, well, they changed the formula twice now. And both times the formula change is something I got over real quick, but I still hate the new cans because it used to be really easy. Well, these are the black can Cokes. The gray cans is Diet, black Coke Zero, red is regular Coke. Well, now
Gold
the Coke Zero
is the
is just
caffeine free for grandmas.
right. Now Coke Zero is just also red for some reason, but the letters are black. Like this looks way worse. I don't get
It
it.
was a nicer, well-designed can, like the black OG Coke Zero. It was
Agreed.
real slick.
I have a Christmas ornament of that can.
I felt
Great.
cool drinking a Coke Zero.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we all felt like Chads.
Well, I definitely felt cool drinking Pepsi Max until it like
No, you
destroyed my
didn't.
throat. I was
Or
that
Dr. Pepper
ginseng
10, it's
got me
not for
rock
women.
hard. Well, of course.
Pepper Tan.
That's why I stopped drinking pop because all this pop's for women. What am I gonna do?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Diet
got
Dr.
Diet
Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. I'm secure. I'm good.
I need my
Dr. Pepper.
masculine soda.
Yeah.
Those are the top two: Coke Zero, Diet Dr. Pepper. Those are the best.
They're good.
Sodas.
They're good.
They're so
I-
good.
yes,
And
I
that's
think I
why
agree.
Starry is the new kid on the block. And
Starry is
very
just Sierra
good.
Mist. It is just
Yeah,
Sierra
it's
Mist.
just renamed
But it's a
Sierra
more
Mist.
fun name and a more fun can.
Okay,
I
you're
like
not
Starry a
wrong.
lot more than Sierra Mist. I never, ever bought Sierra Mist. I buy Starry every time I'm at the store.
I think I agree with everything he just said. Yeah.
This is why they do these rebrandings. This is why they do
Hey,
this.
good job. I want to give him, credit. Take my money. Good job.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The other time zone stuff, not time zones, but daylight savings time. So when you get an email, they're like, this is going to happen at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm like, it's Eastern Daylight Time right now. It's EDT. It's not EST. You're wrong.
Because Jeff
This is wrong.
said this, and I can never keep track, so now I always just write out Eastern or Pacific. now,
yeah, you
'cause
just say ET. Yeah, you can just skip it. Yeah. And then the generations things. Like I saw yesterday, someone's like, what was the best controller of the 6th generation consoles? Shut up, you nerds. We never use that. That's such a stupid thing. You guys have to put everything in your little buckets. Get over it. It's so confusing. It's useless. I hate it so much.
Just got a lot
I
of
hate it
these.
when people
Just
describe anything
curmudgeon.
with pixel art as 8-bit style.
Yeah,
It can
okay,
look like
sure.
the most fucking detailed, like PS1 sprite art. And be like,
CS
oh yeah, it's like pixely 8-bit, like Nintendo art. It's like, nope, that's a very specific look. 8-bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've learned that we're all a little bit curmudgeon-y.
I'm a lot.
And that's fine.
I mean, all of us added up don't equal one backlog curmudgeon. though, so.
Surprisingly, I was shocked to hear the cruise hate. I thought a nice cruise vacation is something that Jeff Backlar would enjoy, but I guess not.
Yeah. Well, I'll report back when I do my Disney cruise. Looking forward to it.
Please.
What was the thing during the trailer roundup? It was the live action Starfield trailer that really bugged him. And I'm just like,
Oh, I didn't like that. That was dumb. I just hate the most on the nose Rocket Man thing, the sad bastard Rocket Man. Like that was stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it, like he was like had a strict hatred for it, and I was like, okay, yeah. I'm like already forgot it existed, but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We've gone to that part of the show. You hooligans, I've already copy and pasted the 50, so I make sure that you don't keep
Oh
fucking
hell
with me.
yeah!
Let's go.
So let's get to the shout outs. Starting with number 1. Jan, you look great, and we will miss your hair. Parentheses, but you'll still look great. Farewell, Common Rider Geets. Ace with us. In equivalent exchange comes Common Rider Gotchard. Grab it, the ultimate gotcha. Oh,
What?
no. Oh, no. Beef and cheddar, boys. Don't believe it, but I believe Jan. Now, Dan, I'm a little confused. They did what with pepperoni?
They put the pepperoni in the cheesy bread.
Yeah.
Jeff
There's,
Jarrett.
there's a song. There's a song. They put the pepperoni in the cheesy bread.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. Jeff
believe you.
Jarrett for allowing us to be filthy smarks and use wrestle terms. And then Jack Perry got choked. Jan holding up the website on his back. You're the one. You're the only one. We share the burden here, folks. Jeff Grubb is terrified of nematodes. Carlac, always Carlac. Panda and the Choo Choo Crew, and the Minnesota State Fair. I'm a GB mark. Because of that, I gladly put up with all the shooty work wrestling bullshit. You babyface gimmicks have never once mentioned Hulkster in heaven. I had to learn about it from a baseball podcast. I know he is for a shoot piece of shit, but come on, that song is transcendent. I've never felt these things before. The world lost another Hulkamaniac, and he won't even acknowledge it.
What is this?
What is
I don't
this?
know what that is. Can we
I think
time
I've heard
out
of
and
this
can you just
before.
play Hulkster in Heaven? I feel like I need to hear
How
this.
about this? I'll get it all. I'll send it over to Jan. He can finish the things, and then we'll watch it, and that'll be the end.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes, please. Slack that to me, Jeff.
Yes, got it.
Who saw Dan being an armored core guy on staff? Mike, Mind Goblin Minotti, Mind Goblin D's nuts. CM Punk did nothing wrong. Parentheses, whoever wrote this, get fucked. No, you get fucked. You get fucked. Infinity. Stamp, double stamp. CM Punk, the best in the world at being a bitch. CM Punk is the Elon Musk of wrestling. Oh,
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, that makes
Definitely.
me sad.
Yeah,
It's-
rich asshole. Yeah.
It's real glass. Cry me a river. Take a deep breath before reading number 20. Oh, fuck you guys. Jan, holy shit, I got it. What you asked for, Pax, a brick of pure Colombian white Christmas. I got you, man. You can ride the snake and write that Ernie Reyes Jr. and Dave Bautista rom-com with Chaim. I'll write the score and be head of barbecue, even though I don't understand music and I'm afraid of pigs. And oh shit, to sneak in it, and it's probably what's going to get stuffed with an old prison wallet, which is going to be rough because between that and the Lorcana booster box, you want me to wait. Make sure you don't read this out loud. Jan, stop reading. Jan, shit. This is Dan Reichert being a scamp. Haha. Remember what I said about pirates and forget about butt cocaine. Haha. Shit. Bat Grub and Robin, Lady Flash and the Bluey Combat Club. I can't believe Dan killed Bob Barker. Grub 24 check. Edit. Never mind. Mitch Love Boat check. Edit. Never mind. Dan Bonanza check.
The best television program of all time. Never seen a second of it.
Minotti spits, not swallows. Blake. Wow. Blake Club recommendation: X2 Wolverine's Revenge. A terrible movie time in game. Dress Mitch in the bright yellow Wolverine suit. I like that part in Texas Chainsaw Massacre where Leatherface pats Grandpa on the head after giving him blood. Leatherface loves his grandpa. R.E.P. Bray Wyatt, he got the whole world in his hands. Shouts out to the seminal 1995 movie classic Hackers, a 5-star movie. Dan, 5 stars. Brought to you by Barber Jan's Broken Heart, bonded by Pokemon, broken by Zelda, betrayed by his brother. Jan, may I bring y'all a mailbag at PAX? Sure. Also, Mike, what is the best flavor shortbread cookies?
Normal. Well, normal's the best flavor. The best kinds
Normal
are the
flavor.
ones you get at Disney World that are shaped like Mickey Mouse.
I love the taste of normal.
It's
butter,
adjacent to
like
Manila.
the butter flavor. I don't
Sure.
like the ones with the chocolate in. I want chocolate. I just want the butter.
What is License to Thrill? Who can say? Terry Funk forever. Hey Nose, hugs and kisses. Coral abide in Rubicon. This is from Mike Minotti. It's me, Mike, typing this right now. If you see me at PAX, please come up and tell me that why RB sucks. Also tell me, Mike Minotti, how much Sonic sucks.
Don't do that.
I think the hey Nose, fuck you guys in here this week. Rip to the streak. Oh shit, did I just keep it going? The best cruise is the 311 cruise. Mike
Hell yeah.
Minotti makes us all call him senpai on Reddit. A stove isn't always an oven. An oven isn't always a stove. Chuck Taylor won a wrestling match at Wembley Stadium. Let's fucking go.
Literally, maybe my favorite thing about All In was like Chuck Taylor getting the guy who was like going to retire 8 years ago because no one wanted to book him anymore. God, I love Chucky T.
I love that he wore a suit before
Yeah.
All In also.
I got water everywhere.
Are there more Animorphs or anime? Blake Club recommendation: Bal in Wonderworld, make Grub dress up as prisoner and be Yuji
I've already
Naka.
played that game. I can't.
Blake Club
He's
recommendation:
already had to beat it. Jeez.
Darkened Sky, the Skittles-based magic RPG for the GameCube. Make
I thought that was
Dan
pretty good.
dress like berries and cream guy from that one commercial. Complete the wig. Range versus stove
Alright, that's
versus
pretty
oven. Is there really a difference? It's a lovely podcast starring two men with fears of stovetops and apples. R.I.P. Mike Enriquez, the real one. Dick the Cock Johnson. Get that last looks at Jan's hair. R.I.P. those beautiful locks. Get ready for Jan's Lex Luthor era. And that has been the shout-outs this week, folks. What's happening this week, gentlemen?
Light
First-
Club.
Yes, Blake Club. I also sent you Hulkster in Heaven, so you have that if you need it.
I'm gonna
Blake
get a
Club's
paper
happening
towel
tomorrow.
real quick.
Sure. Yeah, Blake Club's tomorrow. God, a bunch of things are happening that we won't be able to talk about yet. But then Starfield Quick Look is going up on Thursday, We will also, most of us will be traveling, so we'll find time to talk about it on the next Bombcast as well, and find other places to put Starfield for sure. And then the Nintendo Direct, Super Mario Brothers Wonder on Thursday morning before Game Mess mornings. Look out for that. We'll do that. We'll go into Game Mess mornings, and then I'm going to go get on a plane and go to PAX. And then that's
Yes.
the
Can we
rest
say
of the
what
week.
License to Thrill is?
Yeah, why not?
Because we're not going to say
Here's the general overview. It's licensed games. We've talked about this before. Wanted to do more. Like, there's so many of those, like PS2, Reservoir Dogs, Sopranos, Scarface. And with the recent 24 stuff, we tried out 24 the game. So Grub is going to play that, and we recorded that. It'll go up. It was a Thursday. Was that right?
Yeah, moved it to Friday because of a certain quick
Friday.
look.
Yes.
Right. So it's going to be a thing. It's not a weekly thing. It's one where we will try these out. If any of these games like grab us, maybe we'll do more than one episode on them. We'll see how we feel about 24 the game when you watch the VOD there. But yeah, it'll be a thing you see every once in a while of licensed games.
Yep. And we got other things cooking. We'll get like a demo derby going here relatively soon. Dan's settled in now. So a lot of the things that we were kind of had on a pause because of his moves. Like, we're gonna start figuring that stuff out. And then Blake Hub's back and not going anywhere. So lots of stuff happening on the site.
Yes. Also, if you are in Seattle for PAX West this weekend, we will be part of 2 panels. Jenna Stover will be moderating a panel Friday night. That is September 1st, 8 p.m. at the Blue Jay Theater. And then the next day, Saturday, will be Giant Bomb's Voicemail Dump Truck live with live voicemails, whatever that means. And that will be at 5 p.m.
Try to get a stream up and running on the site with everyone out Friday for PAX. You'll definitely have the VOD of License to Thrill, but I might try to boot some stuff up and maybe play some Armored Core or something on Friday for kind of a low-key UPF replacement. So that's on the docket.
Yeah, and hey, your boy is looking for Rex to maybe host an impromptu meet and greet. One of the places was asking for money when I didn't think their money should be exchanged. Anyway, fantastic show. I've been Jan, he's been Jeff, he's been Mike, he's been Dan, and you have been beautiful. I wish that you go drink a glass of water and wash your face tonight. Wash behind those ears. We'll leave you with the lovely whatever the hell this is.
Oh no.
Is Hogan going to be singing?
I don't know. We can't play too much of this though. Oh God.
I read it in the papers. I saw it on TV. I guess it'll be one empty seat
This can't be him.
when I wrestle at
No.
Wembley.
Wait, talk about Wembley?
Yeah, wrestle at Wembley. It's an empty seat when I wrestle at Wembley.
This actually is him, I think.
That's him.
He's talking about a fan that died?
That's what he says. So I'll put it in the chat right now.
All right. I'm gonna fade to black. We'll listen to the rest of this. We'll see you next week.